All right, we are live. We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Gov Cloud Podcast, Wednesday Hot Topic, live out of San Francisco on this beautiful Wednesday night. What's up, everybody? As you guys can see, we have a great show planned for you guys. Another Wednesday Hot Topic for you guys. We have a full panel. We got a panel of men and women. We're going to have a discussion tonight. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. And get your popcorn ready. Let's get it.
What are we arguing about?
A man is gonna do what a man wants to do.
Yes, all on your wrist. Make you my wife, you no longer my bitch.
Let's get it. My name is Will. I'm the host of this show, the number one Polynesian podcast in the world.
Dripping in Versace. All these other hoes trying to copy.
Women tend to bounce around in relationships. They can't stick and stay in a long-term relationship.
Again, don't agree with this.
So let's say, are you still in it? Are you still in it?
No. So you're basically saying I'm a whore.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be advised.
So I just wanted to take the time and make this video to apologize to absolutely nobody. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Okay, welcome back to another session of the Gov Cloud Podcast, Wednesday Hot Topics. I see you guys already in the live chat, BL17, The Dark Knight, Dragonfly, Jones' cousin. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you already for tuning in. We have a great show and topic planned for you guys tonight. As always, people who subscribe and people that always tune in to my channel and to my shows, you guys already know what to do. If you find value in the content, thank you so much for all your support. But smash that like and subscribe button for the algorithm so that we can reach more people out there. Of course, if you're tuning in for the first time, this is a public show, so anybody can jump on and be part of the pod. The link is posted on the description of the video below. So a lot of you guys reach out to me on Instagram, asking me how do I get on and be part of the podcast. The link is in the description. Click on that link and you'll be able to join in, whether you agree or disagree. I would love to invite you guys and to add on discussion and hear from your opinions and perspectives. Don't forget, if you have something to say, you want your voice to be heard, drop it through a super chat. That's the best way to donate to my channel. And also we'll be able to respond and read out any comments that you guys may have. So if you have any, if you want your voice to be heard, if you want any topics or things that you want to say for us to respond to, ask it through a super chat. Thank you so much for all your financial donations. But ask it through a super chat. I'll be able to put on the screen, give you a shout out and read it, and we'll be able to respond in kind. So thank you so much. But nevertheless, also my locals account, if you guys want to support me, support the channel so I can constantly grow and improve my content for you guys. The best way to do that is become a supporting member on my locals, where you get access to exclusive content, all the vlogs I do, especially for my Saturday night shows. And of course, you have direct access to me and to be able to join in as a public guest, not only for the Wednesday, but also my Friday and Saturday night shows where I bring in people into the studio, and you can still be a virtual guest from anywhere in the world. That's only exclusive to the supporting members of my locals. So I appreciate everybody on my locals. Thank you so much. And the link is in the description of the video below. But pretty much that's all my YouTube stuff. Thank you so much for watching. And but let's get right into the podcast. Let's get right into the show. As you guys can see, we have a full panel tonight. Shout out to the panel real quick. All right, thank you, ladies. Thank you, fellas, for making the time to be part of tonight's discussion. We have a good hot topic tonight. Definitely would love to hear from your perspectives, but I'll allow the ladies here for the first time on the pod. Give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there, and then we'll go to the fellas, and then we'll open up the discussion. I'll start with you, Jessica. Jessica, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica here, and thanks for having me on. I'm excited to, like I said earlier, talk my ish. So we should have a good night.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much, Jessica. Definitely curious tonight. When you're ready to talk your ish, I'm ready to have you be part of the pod. I'll keep it moving. Kia Monet, thank you so much for being part of the pod tonight. But give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there.
I'm Kia Monet, and thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Kia Monet. And I know, Kia Monet, you have your own pod, right?
Yeah, it's on pause though. It's on pause.
Okay, no worries. And I know Jessica too, so I'll definitely make sure I can put the links below, so that way you got, if you follow them, they can support your pods as well. We'll keep it moving. Kita, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there.
Hi, my name is Kita, and I am excited to be on here. It's my first podcast. I see my cousin was on here, so I thought that.
Okay. All right, Kita, thank you so much for being part of the pod. We'll keep it moving. Start for the fellas. Devil, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there.
Yeah, you guys can call me David. It's less of a mouthful. I just like playing devil's advocate sometimes. Sometimes I won't even be necessarily arguing or disagreeing or prodding other people's beliefs just because I believe something. I want to hear someone defend their arguments, and in these discussions, I think we should be able to do that without things getting too out of hand. So I look forward to the conversation.
All right, thank you so much, Devil, as always, for being part of the pod. Damien, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there.
What's up, everybody? It's Damien. My name is Damien, part-time podcaster, part-time featured panelist on a bunch of different podcasts. Looking forward to having a great conversation with you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Damien. And last but not least, right on time, just in time, Lexi, thank you for joining the pod. Excited to have you be part of tonight's discussion. But Lexi, if you want to give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there.
Hi, Alexis. I go by Lexi. What do I say? Like what I do?
Yeah, anything.
Okay. I'm an esthetician. You guys don't know what that is. I do facials, lashes, makeup. I've been doing that for about 10 years. This is actually my first time on a podcast, so I'm a little nervous. But yeah, about ready for this.
LSD here.
And this is a good podcast for your first time to be on.
I'm excited.
I'd say this is a good one to be on.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Got my girl here, so I'm a little comfortable with her being here. So yeah.
No worries. All right. Thank you, Lexi. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. As always, in the live chat, I see you guys tuning in. Don't forget, it's a public show, so if you want to tune in, definitely click on that link on the description of the video. You guys join the panel as a public guest, and you'll be able to be part of the podcast. And of course, we will get right into it. And of course, also, if you want your voice to be heard, drop it through a super chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I appreciate you guys always tuning in. But let's go right into it. Let's go. We already know what the topic we're going to discuss tonight. I'm gonna play the video. There was this video I saw online. It went kind of viral. And it's related to tonight's topic. So I'm gonna play the video real quick so everybody can watch. People just tuning in right now. And then of course we get to react to it. And then once the video is done, it's about 50 seconds. I'll bring it to you guys, and you guys can all share your perspective and your opinion about what you think about tonight's topic. Okay. So let me play the video real quick.
Would it be fair to say you're a traditional woman? I can answer
for the
that.
most part, yes.
Okay, but would a traditional woman have her body half naked on Instagram?
See, that's where I
Okay, but hear me out. You're exposing yourself in a sexual way.
Right.
You're condoning that.
I think it's based on the partnership. I think your partner would have to really be comfortable
but you
with
want
your
a
line of
traditional
work.
man. You want a traditional man, but see, this is the problem with a lot of modern day women. They don't want to be a traditional woman. Okay, so if you were the man, the love of your life, and he was the perfect guy that you created, and that's the guy who says, Christina, you're in love with me. You do anything for Yep, I'll do anything for you. You do anything for me. I want you to close your Instagram account. Would you do it?
If I didn't have to rely on Instagram for work, and this was the perfect scenario where I knew this was my husband, I would not take away what makes me Christina.
But then you're not being traditional.
All right. Interesting. Okay, all right. So that was a video I saw that was online. So just to give some context for everybody that's watching this right now. So we all live here in 2023. Today, it's the modern dating culture today that we see in today's world. We got hookup culture. We have situationships. Things are a little bit different compared to 50, 60 years ago when things were more traditional. So I've been doing this podcast for a long time, and I do watch a lot of content online. A lot of women out there today, quote unquote modern women, they all are looking for a specific type of man. They want a provider, protector. They want a leader. They want a man that's committed. They want a man that's loyal. They want masculine men, strong, confident, ambitious. Right, a lot of the traits that they talk about, the type of man that they want, usually aligns with traditional. They want a traditional man, right? The conversation that's if you look at that video and you look at the comments, pretty much the conversation is, if you want a partner with certain values and certain morals and certain principles and certain traditions, then the conversation is you have to also be able to reciprocate that as a person. So, quote unquote, if you want a traditional man, then as a woman you have to be traditional. But there are a lot of women out there who are certain behaviors and the way they live their lifestyle. It's not necessarily traditional. So, but they still want a traditional man. So it opens up the conversation. Can you really want a tradition? Can women attract a traditional masculine man? Because those are the type of men that they want. Is it possible for women today to want a traditional masculine man by not being a traditional feminine woman? Is usually what the traditional masculine man is looking for. So I'm open to the discussion. I know I have my perspective, my view on it. This is something I do see a lot. There's a lot of women out there. They want relationships. There are a lot of modern women today complaining that men are no longer loyal. Men are no longer leaders. Men are no longer committed to a woman. They don't want no families. They're no longer traditional. They no longer. There's no chivalry. There's no gentleman no more to women. But those are usually the complaints I do see from a lot of women, that they complain about men. Their men no longer step up and responsible. And they want to have good, strong relationships. So it sounds more of a tradition. A lot of times when you hear that from certain types of women, they're not reciprocating the same values and principles that they want out of the man. So it's an interesting conversation. I want to open it up for you guys. What do you guys think about that? Is it possible? Can you attract a masculine traditional man and relationship by not being a traditional feminine woman? I would love to have that conversation with you guys. Also, everybody in the live chat, let me know what you guys think about that. I would like to hear your perspective, your opinions on the live chat. Let's get that live chat popping. But let's pass it to the ladies. I want to hear from what you guys have to say. I'll start with you, Lexi. Lexi, what do you what are your general thoughts? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Can you attract a masculine traditional man in relationship without being traditional a feminine woman yourself?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Because we know we both not going to open the door. Like, somebody going to have to open my door for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have to step back. Because naturally, no, I'm a feminist. I'm right now, I'm currently living in my soft girl era, and I can't see myself being a masculine woman and trying to attract a masculine man, because we both can't wear the pants in the relationship.
Mm.
And I don't know, I just feel like how are you attracted to me if I'm wearing pants? Like, I don't know. That's my view on it.
Okay. So when Lexi, you said absolutely not, so it's not possible. That's why you said.
No, not for me. No.
All right.
Not for me, no.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Lexi. We'll keep it moving. All right. Let me pass it to you, Jessica. Jessica, what do you think? What do you think about the topic? Go ahead.
Well, I want to know what we consider a traditional feminine woman. Like, I think we should cover that ground first. And what is considered a traditionally feminine woman? Like, I can't do things for myself, or like I'm staying at home, I'm not working. Like, what do we consider a traditionally feminine woman?
Okay.
Guys, you want to answer that?
You know what? Let's
I know you do. I knew you do. I know you do, DA.
Yeah, for the sake of
I'll be polite. I'll let y'all go first.
Let's go around real quick and just I think it's important to have to define the terms that we have, so it's much easier for us to have this conversation and understand each other. So before we allow the panel to continue, let's just all define based on your opinion, your perspective, what is a traditional feminine woman, and also what is a traditional masculine man according to you. All right, so let me start with the fellas, and I'll come back to the ladies. I'll start with you, Damien. Can you define for yourself a traditional masculine man and a traditional feminine woman?
Well, a traditional masculine man, a man who shows leadership qualities and ability to effectively lead a relationship and a family, like through his actions, deed, temperament. He's shown that he has the ability to keep the family supplied for as well as safe. You know, he has not just your physical being, but also your long-term health and security. That's one of the goals that he's constantly aware of that, and he constantly takes you. And I think a masculine man values his woman in knowing that he's less likely to be successful without his woman. I think that's a high degree of masculinity. I think a feminine woman is a woman who understands that that being under a man is not servitude. It's not degrading to man. Being under a man's covering, kind of falling back and letting him kind of lead the family is not something that it's not, like I said, any type of subjugation. Is just something that historically is shown kind of works in society when a man kind of takes the forefront leading of the family and the relationship in a lot of cases. So that's kind of the elevator understanding of a pitch of what a masculine and feminine role is.
All right, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Damien. I'll pass it to you, Devil. Devil, what's your just define traditional masculine man and traditional feminine woman?
I would say that, especially when it comes to traditionalism, that can differ by what country you're in. But in the America and in the modern West, I mean, if we just look at our grandparents and masculinity and femininity, I would say it's people are trying to depeg it from the ability to provide, because I think there are a lot of, hate to use the word, but a lot of betas that can provide nowadays, now that we have things like IT and jobs where you don't have to be physically, fit and good with your hands. But I think it's, you know how to take care of yourself mentally, physically. You're a provider. You're a leader of men, potentially, a leader of your family, potentially. And you have a spine, so you can be the disciplinarian. You can check others when they cross a line, and you know where your line is. And that can tie into relationships, politics, even just defending yourself and not letting people walk all over you. So I would say that would be, and having a concern for the direction that your family or your community or your relationship is headed, and the foresight to be able to identify problems there. I would say that is traditional masculinity. And then traditional femininity, I would say, is seeing the power in, I think the closest thing to it would be subservience. And from what I have a good friend who's Islamic, and the way he described it to me, there's a lot of similarity between, it's like power through submitting to God, and sacrificing for him. I would say it's the same thing with femininity in the family. And I think that there's a power that we've forgotten about. Like my grandma, for instance, she married at 20. She had 9 kids by 33. And when she sat down at the table, I just remember when she talked, everyone shut up, and of her 9 kids, 8 of them are married. All of them were, very high powered, like professionals. But when grandma talked, everyone was quiet, because she just had this respect because of the sacrifice that she made to build that family. And nobody cared, that she didn't have a career. Everyone respected her opinion. And I feel like women think that if they forego their career for building a family, that they will lose some kind of respect, when traditionally feminine women see power in that, and they know that there's a respect that comes with that sacrifice as well. And it's so seeing the power in the yin to the yang of masculinity, instead of trying to overtly compete with men and foster your masculine traits to compete in the workforce.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Devil. Keep it moving. I'll pass it to you, Kim Monet. Kim, what do you think? How do you define traditional masculine man, and then how do you define a traditional feminine woman?
To be honest, growing up, I never seen it, so I don't even know the definition. So what I would think or what I would assume would be just someone who I would just say like back in the day where a man would just work, take care of the household, you know what I'm saying? And then the woman would stay home and take care of, things behind the scenes. But nowadays, I just feel like this is just my personal opinion. The men are bitches and the women are men. That's nowadays. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not saying all men are like that or all situations are like that, but I just feel like that's how it is nowadays. So I feel like this topic of discussion, it's really irrelevant because a lot of men, they're not even holding down the household like they're supposed to. So it's like,
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, sir.
All right. So do you feel like because you never seen it, because a lot of times when people don't have something, they either long for it or they feel like it doesn't exist, so they don't even think that it's a possibility to have it. Would you feel like you're in a position that would you recognize somebody in a masculine frame and be willing to fall back and let him kind of take the lead if he displays certain attributes or traits that you might deem as masculine, or you may just to say you respect? Do you think you're open to falling back and following a man?
Yes, because now I'm at an age where I feel like now that I'm like, I have my spiritual guidance with God. I feel like God will send me that man that will make me feel comfortable to get out of my masculine self and make me be feminine towards him. So I feel like God will bring that person to me.
Okay. Because I'm glad to hear that, because a lot of women are be like, no, like that's the kind of, we were talking about somebody earlier in the other podcast, because they had never saw it. That's something they totally were like against, is kind of falling back and letting a man take the lead.
I'm willing.
And that's a tricky question. I was just gonna add, that's a tricky question too, because there are also probably a lot of women that when you ask them that, they're picturing the perfect guy and they're thinking to themselves, well, yeah, of course, if the perfect guy came along, I would act, accordingly or fall into my role, when really a lot of the women, who display these traits don't know that they do. It's just modern culture. So it takes a lot of insight to realize you have those traits and, need to work to change, or, think, what is the man that I want instead of, what kind of man do I want?
Okay. All right. Thanks to let me just read this super chat real quick. Freudian slip on the live chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Shout out to you, man. 1999. It's impossible to be a traditional woman once a woman has passed a certain age, early 20s. After that, she's likely not a virgin, acquired bad habits, personal baggage, and dumb coping talking points like soft girl era. All right, no worries. Appreciate you for your super chat. Like I said, if you're watching this right now, if you want your voice to be heard, you have some in the comments you want me to read and for everybody to hear and respond to, ask it through a super chat. And thank you so much for donating to the channel. Thank you so much. We'll keep it moving. Thank you for sharing that, Kia Monet. We'll pass it to you, Lexi, and then Kaida, and then I'll come back to you, Jessica. Lexi, what's your definition of a masculine traditional man and a feminine traditional woman?
A masculine traditional man to me it's like piggybacking off of what she said. Wait, did you say? I don't know. Piggybacking off of everybody, like just a person that can lead, that knows what they want, definitely has some sort of spiritual background. Not everybody, but for me personally, has some sort of spiritual background. Knows how to protect. In the same time is sensitive and not overbearing, in a sense, like doesn't control, because y'all men got control issues. And no, let me see what else. There's a lot. What else? Okay. So Strong beliefs. How do I word this? I don't know. I might have to come back because I'm trying to get.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I don't know. Like, not. I was kind of thrown off by the question from the person that threw some cash at you.
I actually wrote down a similar question. I wanted you to elaborate on.
Can you run that back? Like, what was the question that he just said?
He was asking about your soft girl era, or what?
Well,
I didn't know.
That ties into femininity.
Yeah, Lexi, you weren't here earlier when we said don't engage with the chat. They're gonna say all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have. I get on these things. I get called a simp. I get called all kinds of names on these things, and you just gotta let it ride.
It was a dig at her, but I mean I don't know what that means. So maybe it's not with the in the now, but like I just wanted you to elaborate on that because it could.
Like nowadays there's new terms to everything, to being a feminine woman, and one of those terms is a girl living in their soft era. That's the same difference. So for me, like, being feminine is being like, I would say understanding, nurturing, because I feel like as women we already have that. Just caring, of course, taking care of the household when you guys are at work, just everything on the back end side that you guys can't do, we do, and we fill in that space. For kids, I am going to be the one to take them to those appointments for doctors, dentists, and all that, and going to follow up with the teachers and all that good stuff. I'm going to know when you're hungry, because, after a long day at work, what are you going to do when you come home? Oh, baby, you need a massage. You want to kick off your feet. You ready to eat? Because 9 times out of 10, you're ready to eat, right? So I'm going to have that food ready. So I'm going to do all that good stuff. That's the same thing as living in your soft girl era.
Okay, that makes sense. So fostering your feminine, energy. Okay, I was more like if it were a girl, if a girl that I knew said something like that, I'd be more concerned about the word era than soft girl, because I know people's past can, like trauma, for example, can. I didn't know if era implied that you're coming out of like a different era, say where you were more masculine, or
that could be a possibility.
And that's something good to know if you're considering someone for a partner.
A hot girl, and I
exactly,
yep. Into being coming back from living that city life or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. But as far as my background, like, I don't really know what it is to see that masculine side, because I didn't have a father in the home, so I don't know what that looked like for real. So I'm trying to figure that out, honestly, and how a man should lead in all this. And that goes into a woman being submissive, right? So in order for me to be submissive to a man and for you to lead me, I need to make sure you're aligned in your life, because I feel like you're not aligned in your life. How can you align my life and align those like that fall back within me, like my kids? So
yeah, I see a lot of that on these spaces, is where like a lot of women say I didn't have a constant representation of what masculinity was. So a lot of times a lot of women are willing to fall into the feminine frame and let a man be masculine and lead the home. But it's just going to take a little bit of work. It's going to take the guy showing consistent, good leadership skills, making good decision skills, and having your interest in mind. And I think a lot of times guys, they want it off rip. They don't want to build that history of good decision making, showing good leadership skills consistently. And then there's that pushback from women, like, hold up, I just met you. You ain't gonna tell me what to do until you can tell me what to do, kind of situation. But and I get that. And I think that's a lot of times men, as men in these spaces, they get the expectation is that, like I said, I'm making money, so you need to have it off rip, not understanding a lot of women's perspective. Like, well, hold up, I don't know what that looks like in the long term. So give me a minute, then I'll fall back into it. I understand where you're coming from.
Right. Because you had to think, a lot of women, not all women, a lot of women grow up in a one-parent household. For me, my one parent was my mother. I was surrounded by a lot of independent, let me say that lightly, self-efficient women that did a lot of things themselves. regardless if they had the men buy them. Like my grandmother, she had her husband for over 50 plus years, but she very much so wore the pants in the relationship. He would do his due diligence. My grandpa was in the streets and he took care of the house. He did what he needed to do, but at the end of the day, like, he was bringing the money home to her because she knew what to do with that money.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Lexi. I appreciate that. I see a lot of new names in the live chat. Hello, Zyrex, Freudian Sleep. I don't know. I've seen you for a while, but Dragonfly.
Hey,
Jones.
Zyrex.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on the live chat. I appreciate you guys. Get that live chat popping. I would love to hear your feedback. Whether you agree or disagree, drop your comments below on the live chat. And of course, don't forget, this is a public show. So if you want to jump on, the link is in the description of the video. But we'll keep it moving. I'll pass it to you. I'm sorry, is it Kita or Kaida? Was it Kaida?
It's Kita.
Kita. I apologize. That's my fault. So Kita, what's your definition of traditional masculine man? And then what's your definition of a traditional feminine woman? Then we'll go back to Jessica and go ahead, Kita.
Honestly, I feel like, what tradition are we talking about? Like, everybody, I feel like every culture has their own definition. You know, everybody was raised different, everybody grew up different, everybody believes in different things. So I'm just like, what is the standardized traditional? I'm more so like, a man, I just feel like, should just be a man. And I mean that as far as all this extra dudes liking to like argue online with females and get into female business and gossip like female, all that is not manly to me. Dudes not being able to hold their own as far as being an individual and always having to rely on somebody, I don't feel like that is a man. And as far as not being able to stand on their word, like, don't just say it because it sounds good. Like, just like you said, stand on it. If you don't believe it, why are you even speaking it? But not just for the men. I feel like for the females, and nowadays I've been seeing it a lot more than ever. Like, they've been slacking and slipping, and I'm just like, y'all pull is trash, if you ask me, because there's no traditional women anymore. And if there are, nobody knows where they are, or they in a house, or they at work, or they not, you know what I'm saying, nowhere where you think they're gonna be, or where you would think to find them. You're probably gonna run into them at the grocery store or the post office, or somewhere where you would never imagine an actual traditional woman to be, because ain't nothing traditional about 2023. And that's just how I feel about it. Like, I feel like nowadays you kind of gotta just know what you want and not be willing to settle or negotiate just because you're lonely, or because, you know what I'm saying, you like somebody because of the physicalities, but y'all can't even hold an intellectual conversation, let alone a conversation. Like, I don't know, kind of just like, I can't remember her name, but how she was saying earlier, like, nowadays, I don't think they too much exist. They're not here. Nobody's doing anything traditional. Like, people don't even date no more. You know, people don't even know what it is to date. Like, they think when you're dating, that's your boyfriend. Like, no, that's not what it is to date. So it's like, I feel like a lot of people, for real, they're probably just really misinformed, just all over about what a lot of things are when it comes to this relationship world, this dating world, or whatever. Because a lot of people is just winging it about here. I feel like a lot of it is struggle love, that trauma love, and that's not love for real. That's just, I feel like somebody needing a crutch.
Okay.
When it comes to that traditional, I'm like, if you are, you're very rare, and I applaud you being able to be you in this world that we're in.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Keita. I appreciate that. And we'll pass it to you, Jessica. That was actually a great question, Jessica, to make sure that we all define what a traditional masculine man is and a traditional feminine woman. But I pass it to you. You know, you can share your definition of what it is. And then, of course, you can also share your perspective and your opinion about the general topic, which is, can you attract a masculine traditional man without being a traditional feminine woman? Go ahead, Jessica.
Well, I think the ladies summed it up pretty well on as far as the definition of what I consider a traditional masculine man. I guess that would be, yeah, someone who runs the household, someone who's in charge, who's a leader, and a traditional feminine woman would be someone who's in their soft girl era, which is great. But now that like I'm hearing all these, you know, the definition, I don't even know if I would want that. Like, I feel like it'd be like taking advantage. I don't know. I like to give my 50-50. I like to give my share, and I feel like it just gives the man too much over you to be in that strong leadership role. So I don't even know if that's, I mean, you can be masculine without being in a traditional masculine role where it's like, you know, you're the only one that works and I stay home, and I don't know, it just doesn't sound very appealing to me.
Okay.
I wanted to add a caveat to that. I would say that it's traditional for a woman's work to be elective, but not necessarily like prohibited. You know, like I would rather, like if I look at what my grandma did, for example, she was like a pillar of the community in her church, and I would say that's what she was in a choir. She did a ton of volunteer work, like. And that's a lot more fulfilling, in my opinion, than, you know, increasing the bottom line for a huge corporation, you know, and just being completely devoted to your career at the expense of 40 hours a week with your kids and, you know, a sense of, you know, giving, you know. So I would say that's the only caveat I would have to what you said is like, because I wouldn't want to have to tell a woman like, I don't want you working. I would rather say, if you work, I want it to be because you want to, not because you have to, you know? And then go ahead. Sorry.
That's what I would consider traditional. It's like, you know, you stay home and I do this, but it's like, are masculine men that are in charge and, you know, they're the breadwinners, they're the leaders. I don't even see how you would be attracted to a woman who, how would you even meet? You know, like you don't have the same things going. Especially, okay, so now I'm 31, proud to say. Body's still bodying, face is still facing. But it's like if I've been single for however long, how am I going to meet this man that can take care of me if I'm sitting doing nothing? Like I'm going to have to be in those type of environments.
I don't think that's how it works anymore. Yeah, back in the day, it used to be you were sitting at your dad's house until the man came and scooped you up, married you, and took care of you. Now it's more like, okay, if you met a guy right now, if you went out tomorrow and you met a guy who had his business, he was on his thing, he had a plan for the future, and you got with him and you were engaged with him for 2 years, and over that 2 years, he showed consistent leadership qualities and self-discipline and good decision-making skills, and you decide, okay, I want to have children with this man. Would you? And he say, okay, I would prefer that you raise our children instead of putting our children in daycare or having somebody else coming to raise our kid. Would you be open to that? That's generally how it works nowadays. Is the guy says, okay, he's shown you that he can provide and protect for you, and he in return, he is just saying, okay, if we're starting to build this family, I want you to manage that part of it. You'll be taken care of, and you'll be you don't have to worry about that. And usually the way it works, once you get into a position where the kids are in school and they're off, you can get back into whatever you were doing, but as long as it doesn't take away from the agreement that you had about, you know, for the most part, you're going to be managing and nurturing the children and managing the household while I'm out there working. That's kind of how it works now. I guess we'd have to start calling it neo-traditional, because classic traditional is just is just not realistic. We'd have to add a caveat to it. It's like we have to put a modern spin on tradition. It's more like, are you open to that? Not, are you seeking that?
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. And I guess in the back of my mind, I was thinking back to the video that we played in the beginning, of where they were asking, like, are you going to delete your Instagram and stuff? And so it's just, for me, it's like, well, how would you initially even be attracted to somebody? Well, yeah, the main question, can you attract a traditional masculine man without being a traditional feminine woman? And it's like, again, I'm 31, so it's like I've had to build a life for myself, which has made me more masculine. So it's like, so now can I not attract a guy that can take care of me? I would love it, by the way. Like, if you can take care of me and I can chill and, like, hold down some stuff and live my life, that would be great. But it's like, I've had to do it myself this whole time. So does that make me too masculine to get that? I don't think so.
I think what happens is a lot of women, they put the fear of the unknown, because it's something that they like every woman seems to be saying on the you haven't seen it consistent. You haven't seen a man in a masculine role consistently doing the things that are considered masculine when it comes to leading a household. So it's just like, wait a minute, I don't know if I can trust that. So let me kind of like, I'm not willing to give up my autonomy and my independence on a gamble on something never seen. But if you grew up with it, saw it the whole way through your life, most of the men that you were around were in that role, a lot more women, then you'd be probably a lot more comfortable falling back into it. Like I said, nowadays, that's not the case. So as men need to step up and say, okay, I'm going to show you consistent leadership, good decision-making skill, discipline over a long period of time to get you, so you can have that frame of reference. Okay, yeah, that dude, that my man, he does it. He handles his business. What you call it? He's consistent. He's a leader. He's reliable. He's going to protect and provide for me, and it's been happening for years. Okay, now I can fall back into this role. I think the pushback a lot of time from men, or what men's point is that a lot of women aren't open to even that. It's just like they're not open to okay, this is what traditional men would do, and if they're just like, no, I've got to keep my independence. I gotta do my own thing. I'm gonna pay 50-50. Nobody gonna tell me what to do because ain't nobody told me what to do. That's what I'm saying. They don't trust it because they haven't seen it. Because they haven't seen it. Most men, I could ask this question: have any of the women on the panel been with a man who showed consistent leadership quality for a long period of time?
No.
Okay. Jessica? No. Keto?
No, because I'll probably still be with him.
No? Okay. Lexi?
Yeah, seriously.
I don't waste time. I don't waste time with nobody.
No. Kim Monet?
Mm-mm.
We slipping as men. We slipping.
Not a long period. Like, I've seen things, but not a long period.
I have a question in response to that, because that was a really good point. I don't think, this might be a hot take, but I don't think it should ever be 100% on women to have to identify all of those traits efficiently alone. Traditionally, there were guys who weren't, and I'm guilty of this too. When you meet someone you're extremely attracted to or see a lot of potential in, maybe you're impressed by their resume, maybe you're impressed by their looks, their athleticism, whatever it is, it's really hard to judge objectively, especially in the modern day where you're sleeping with them, within, a few dates of meeting them. I'm guilty of doing the same thing. Sometimes you go on a date, you just want dinner, you end up talking for 6 hours, and it might happen like the first few dates. There's no shame or stigma around it. But I think that, and again, a lot of single mother households where this isn't possible, but when you had a brother and a dad that met the man and was able to vet him and kind of put him through the crucible for a few conversations over dinner, it's a lot easy to not fall victim to your lust or your smittenness by this person you're so attracted to. So it was a community effort to try and vet these men. Whereas now it's just like, wow, I like his profile. Okay, he's DM me. Okay, he's kind of cute. Let's go on a couple dates. And it just, you don't have any help. He could be lying. Men can spot lies that women can't. Women might be able to spot lies that men can't. Like, so it's really, I can't really say it would work, or it's ever worked consistently when it's all on women to do this vetting, you know. And I can't speak to the other way around because I'm not a woman, you know, men vetting women. But what do you guys think?
I want to say something to that. I feel like you guys have to be careful with what you guys say. You have to make sure you guys are really like certain, because you said if the dad and the brother is present. You got to understand there's people in this world, that women, that they have dads that live in the household, but they're not present. So those women could sit up there and they're going to go downhill with men because their dad is not present with them, or they don't have a great bond or relationship. I'm going to keep it 1,000. I have a friend. She has a shitty ass relationship with her father and they live in the same household, and I'm doing better than her. And I grew up with no daddy in my life. So I feel like those situations matter. You get what I'm saying with certain females, like, you get what I'm saying. And I also want to backtrack with both of what you guys said earlier. When you guys sat up there and you're like, women, you know, it's about the trust with the woman. It's 2023. I feel like at the end of the day, a woman needs to work, because you guys got to think about housing is hella expensive. Food is hella expensive. Everything's hella expensive. There's not going to be no traditional woman in this world except for their characteristic traits, which is like making sure she feeds you and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you men are not going to be balling enough to sit up here and let us be at home. You're not Drake. You're not nobody like that. Let's just keep it 1,000 and let's just be honest about the situation. That's just how I feel about everything. I just feel like 2023, we're having this topic, but it's stupid as hell, because it's like, come on now, who is financially stable to do that for us? Let's really keep it 1,000. Nobody.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. Okay,
go ahead.
Can you live a decent house in the United States? And I'm saying you're in California. I'm from California. Can you live a decent life if the man makes $70,000 a year and you don't make anything? Can you live a decent life in
how many kids
California?
Right. Do
I don't know. 2. You have 2 kids.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. No.
You can't live a decent life.
No.
You can build a foundation and equity with that much, but you'd probably need more for kids unless you had some kind of assistance, like a mom to take care of them. But they, like, you know, in the absence of, you need help. Without a family, like without grandparents or mom helping, I don't think so. But a contributing factor to that is, well, okay, 2 things. One is our minimum requirements for a family. Like, if I look at what my mom grew up with and my grandma grew up with, like, even if you look at the simple things like number of pairs of shoes you have, how much clothes you have, like, we have probably 10 times the amount of things. And these things, like, you know, my mom's wardrobe was like plain shirts, you know, jeans, maybe 3 pairs of jeans, a couple dresses. But now it's like, if you thought about the dollar value you've spent on your makeup, your clothes, your shoes, all the things that tie into aesthetics, or I don't know how to, you know, your profession, like, there's just so much more being spent on upkeep, all these insurances that we pay for now compared to our grandparents. So I think that it would be a lot easier, and Damon's situation would be a lot more possible if we had the same standard of living, which was a little bit lower, but it was more humble, like our grandparents had.
Yeah, and I'm not saying women shouldn't work. And that's not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is just like, it shouldn't be like it makes it more difficult to kind of fall back in the role if you already have it. Well, I'm going to work, and what you do is what you do. It is what it is kind of situation. If that's kind of how you going into it, then of course you're always going to be looking for the ways it's not going to work. You know, when I met my wife, my wife, this all transfers. I've been married 15 years, know my wife 20, but this is my second wife. My first wife, I was making $40,000 a year. We lived in Fairfield, you know, and I was the only one working. And we were managing it somehow. We were striving to get to other things. We were working to get other things, like going to school, you know, all that kind of stuff. But we were living. Yeah, we didn't drive the nicest cars. She didn't, you know, she couldn't we can do all the things, and then because of the lifestyle where we because of our differences, we broke up. And when I met my new wife, it was still that situation. We grinded it out, we thugged it out, and now we in a pretty good situation. So it's just like, it's not about I'm going to meet you today and change your life. It's okay. Do you see the value in grinding it out with me and there possibly be the payoff at the end? I think that's what happens a lot of time is it's like, okay, what do you have now? Oh, you don't got now? Oh, you don't got it now? Oh, then, there's no value in you. It's not, okay, this dude is going to hustle with me, grind it out with me, thug it out, and then we're going to build something together. Everything we got right now, me and my wife I worked my ass off, and she did her part by managing the children and making sure that I had a comfortable place to come to. And I grind my ass off, and now we good. And she's back at work, and we even better.
But
so it's.
I got a question, because how many years am I struggling with you?
Oh,
because I just want to know, like, how long do I have to wait for you to reach your peak?
Well, all I'm saying is, like, if the person is really doing his thing, if he's not just bullshitting, you can see he's making those incremental
but how long?
Increases every year, every couple of years, every year he's making
a woman's time frame. Correct me if I'm wrong, women and ladies. Like, what do we give men? Like about 4 to 5, or 2 to 3 years to get their stuff together. Sometimes even less, depending on the women. Right?
Yeah, so
that's a great point.
Let's ask the women on the panel. Like, how many years are you willing to give your man?
How long are we waiting until y'all
grind it out
to where y'all need to be?
Grind it out to get to that point where he can fully financially take care of you and the family himself. I'll start with you, Lexi. How many years are you going to give your man?
I'll give him.
Be honest now. Be honest.
Whew, because this, the situation, right? I'll, like, looking back at where I was, I'll give you a good two, and that's being generous.
What do you need to see after the 2 years? What do you need to see after the 2 years?
Two, maybe 3 years. Because anything after that, I feel like we're going to be stagnant, and we're just going to be comfortable in that space that we're at. And it's going to be hard for us to kind of climb that ladder.
Yeah. Okay. What do you need to see after the 2 years?
I need to see progress, that we're not going to just be here stuck. Because I feel like we're stuck, right? And you're stuck at that 40. Would you say 40?
Yeah, if he's making 40 in 2 years, he should be making what?
How are we going to get to that 70?
Well, how are
we eventually going to get to that 85? Because 40.
Damien, this was 25 years ago, right? So that's like 50, 60
yeah,
right now.
I'm old. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You said
I'm 48, so it's just like
$40,000
was like 65, 70,000.
So when Damien asked you that 70 was decent, you said no. For you, for you, what is decent for you as far as his ability to in his income? What is decent for you
nowadays?
Yeah,
because the men's wardrobe is kind of touching my wardrobe, my numbers. So we both trying to look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for you,
I'm not in sweats all the time. So and he needs to be the sole breadwinner. I'm staying back.
Yeah, sole breadwinner, and you get to be the feminine woman.
If you have children, if you got children, not just you just laying up.
Definitely have kids
if you
over
have
here.
Children,
definitely have kids over here. Okay. So we gotta almost touch 6.
So 6 figures.
Almost touch 6.
Okay, so if you met a man that made less than 6 figures, and
I mean, if like 85 to like 85, 90 being the least, because at this new day and age, and I just rather work too, because I don't want to feel like I have to be your child and ask you, oh, can I get my allowance? Huh?
Yeah.
Let me just have my own. Because
it generally doesn't work that way. It's like you are managing the household, so you know what's in the budget, and the things that you get, you need, you get. It's not like, but if what you're thinking, I want to go and buy this bag, then that's maybe a discussion. But if you like the bills, things you need to maintain the house, things like that, and like whatever, it's there for you. It's not like you got to be like, please let me get, $100 for something,
Well, if he's masculine, he should just know that I want the bag.
I feel like
No,
everybody's situation is different. Sometimes
No,
They
this
always
is
want the
this
bag.
is where we
I mean,
we
even if
fail as a
they're- they still
society
gotta ask.
to.
Can I
I
speak
think this.
different than both y'all?
Let me
Because
go down the list, Balofessa, and I'll come right back at you. So, thank you, Lexi. Kia Monet, what is your decent amount that you want your man to make, and how many years are you willing to allow your man to work towards to get to that point?
truthfully, money wise, I'm not sure just yet. I'm single and I have no kids. Okay. So that's me right now. I would make a plan with him. So what I would do is I would sit down, I'll make a plan like, okay, you know what? This is your 3-month goal. This is your 6-month goal, a year goal, whatever goal, and keep going. And you have to hit that mark with me. If you're not hitting that mark with me, then I will let you go ASAP. I don't have no time to waste. I did it already for 5 years with somebody else. I'm not doing it again. Personally, with me though, how they're talking about like with bags and all that, with me, I'm different. I want to invest with my man. I want to like build a house, things like that. I don't care for a bag. I don't care for all of that bullshit. I'll be in sweats, t-shirt, hair messy. That's just me, how I always been in my life. I don't care for the fancy stuff because I'm not gonna lie, when I grew up, we're poor. We didn't have a lot of money. So I'm always tight with my money. Till this day, I'm still tight with my money. So I make sure that I'm spending my shit on important shit, especially with all the stuff that's going on with the world. So that's just me personally.
But you brought up Drake. You brought up Ballers and Drake.
I know, but I'm just saying, I said, if you guys want to sit up there and have a woman stay home, make sure your funds are correct is all I'm saying in order for a woman to do that. And I'm saying now in 2023, men are not able to do that because it's a lot going on out here. So a woman would have to work is what I said.
Okay. And then Kia Monet, if you happen to meet a man that was working towards that, like how many years are you willing to give him to make sure that he accomplishes the things he needs to accomplish before you start looking somewhere else?
Truthfully, as long as he's hitting that mark, I'm not going to leave him.
Okay.
As long as he's hitting the marks that me and him both agreed on, I will not.
Okay. As long as he's hitting the marks, it's incrementally getting better. You're gonna stay with him. You're gonna rock with him.
Yeah, we on the same. We agreed it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
We did.
All right. Let me pass it to you, Jessica. Jessica, well, for you, what do you if the man's gonna be the sole provider, protector, pay all the bills, you have the option to stay home or do other things. You take care of the kids. What is a decent amount for you to be comfortable with the lifestyle that he's providing for you? And of course, if you happen to meet a man that's not there yet, how many years are you willing to give him to work to get to that point? So that way you can trust the lifestyle in the future that you have. It's going to be secure.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be 150, 200K for sure. For me to say,
okay.
What was that?
Okay, 150.
Life's expensive, and especially if you want me to stay, I don't need to stay home. I don't, you know what I mean? But so if you want me to, then we're gonna live good.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to stay home and have you provide for me so that we can just be doing the bare minimum. You know, I want to enjoy life. I want to have.
You open to dating a 50-year-old man. You only dating a 50-year-old dude?
Wait, what?
Are you open to dating a 50-year-old dude?
It's reaching a little. 50's a little.
But because it's 50-year-old dudes that are making the $200,000.
Absolutely not.
The average.
Yeah, on average.
Yeah, the average.
Hold on, let me pull up some numbers. Keep going. I'm gonna pull up some numbers about income just to.
At least in the 40s.
Give me a second.
You are not 50. 150. You
wait. No. You said two very different numbers. Jessica said 150 to 200K. You just said at least 40. Oh, 40s. I see what you mean. In the age.
Yeah,
Give me a second.
At least in the mid 40s, like 50.
Yeah.
Papa.
40's good. I'll
40's good.
Marry a 40-year-old. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 150, and then Jessica, if you happen to meet a man that's not there yet, but he's constantly working, how many years are you willing to give him to make sure he gets to that point?
To be able to keep me at home.
Keep you at home.
Yeah, probably like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
I'm not giving it a lot of time. Again, because I mean, I know this whole topic is about, you know, would we want to attract traditional masculine? I don't even know if I'm into that, you know? So it's like, I don't need you to take care of me. You know, I want you to, but I don't need you to. So I'm not going to be wasting time,
Okay.
you know, to not get what I can give myself.
Oh, you
I got some numbers. So let's see. We'll start with age 35 since you're 31, right? I think you said earlier. So
yeah,
usually women date at least a couple years older than them. So at age 35, the median income is 69. So you're the lower end of like the age of the guys you date, where
is this in California?
you're about double. This is average for the US. Let's see here. And then 150, the lower end of your range, is the 92nd percentile, so about 1 in 12. And again, the 1 in 12 that fit your preference, they're probably, you know, they're half of them are shorter than 5'10". I don't know how many out of 10 guys you find attractive, but say you find 1 in 4 guys attractive, we're already down to like 2 in 100. And then half of those guys are married, so we're down to 1 in 100. You know, so those numbers dwindle pretty quick when you say things like 150K. Now the numbers will look a little better if I change the age to 50. Okay, we'll say 45 because you said that's a stretch.
Yeah, like come on, Papa.
Yeah, 50.
Hey. I'm a year and a half away from 50.
Okay. So the income percentile for 150K, so the lower end of your range, goes down to 89-90%. So now 1 in 10 instead of 1 in 12. So the lower end for what you want is about 1 in 12 guys. And again, that's before you look at how attractive they are, whether they're married or not. You know, they have to be attracted to you, obviously. So my question to tie this all back to the conversation is how many, and that's just one qualifying factor, income. Again, how many men would our grandparents rule out with a minimum income compared to, on average, how many men this generation rules out? And this all ties into what it takes to raise a family. Like now, you know, it feels like it takes a little bit more to raise a family, but I would say that, you know, we're paying for daycare because women work. So it's like this endless cycle. Women wanted to enter the workforce. Well, now they have to pay for daycare. Okay, the cost of raising a family just went up because that was labor that the wife would, you know, put into the family. Now you doubled the supply of labor. So every woman, and this is a hot take, but every woman that kills it at school, and women are 66% of college graduates now. Every surgeon that's a woman is a woman that's a lot less likely to get married because women tend to only marry socioeconomically equal or up. So every prestigious spot like that is a man could have been a man that provided for a family, right? I'm not saying, you know, if a woman earned that spot, then, you know, kudos to her. But it's interesting that women are like trying their absolute hardest to beat men out in school and in the workforce, and then they're complaining that men don't have, you know, jobs, and there aren't enough men that, as this example showed, make enough money for every woman to have a man that meets her financial standards. But they're working as hard as they possibly can to take those jobs that men would need to be able to meet their financial standards. So it's like this catch-22. It's interesting though, and I don't have a solution. It's just, you know, modern growing pains.
Okay, let me just read this super chat real quick, and I'll pass it to Balafessa. I know Balafessa, thank you for jumping on as a public guest. And you want to add on? Freudian slip. Thank you so much. Shout out to you for your super chat. Every man and woman in my office makes over 100K. The men that are married, their wives look like models. These women would not cut it. My 54-year-old boss is married to a 26-year-old former swimsuit model. These women are insane. All right, thank you so much for this slip. As always, if you want your voice to be heard, you can drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to read it and respond to you guys. And don't forget, this is a public show. So if you do want to jump on and be part of the conversation, we do have some room on the panel. Whether you agree or disagree, jump on the link is in the description below, and you'll be able to click on it and jump on. I'll pass it to you, Professor. Professor, thank you for jumping on. I know you wanted to add on to the conversation. Go ahead. Thank you for jumping on as a public guest.
Yeah, I'm going to add on to an earlier point regarding this idea that the men that we're trying to describe as masculine, traditional men are going to safeguard their money. I think a vast majority of those characteristics in a man, most of the women are typically the one that managing the household finances. Vast majority of those type of men. So this idea that you have to beg this man for some allowances, I don't know where we've gotten that perception from, and unfortunately, you women have taken that on as I don't want to be with a traditional man because I have to beg. Very different dynamic, and I implore you to try and find these particular type of men and have conversation with them because it's vastly different than what it's been described. You will manage the money if you find that type of man.
I have a question for Lexi.
True.
You brought up that your example that I don't want to be the one to ask for money. I don't want to be the one to go to my man and ask for money. From my perspective, that's usually a conversation or rhetoric I hear from a lot of women who have not experienced strong leadership, right? So usually, if you're friends or you've never been in a situation, if you're with a man that's a strong leader and provider protects, he's gonna let his woman take over certain things in the relationship, in the household, and money management. Usually, one of them. I want to ask you, like, where did you hear that rhetoric? Why do you think that men who are, because I do hear that from a lot of modern women, and I think Jessica, you brought up a point. I don't know if I trust that. I don't know if I want that. Right? I don't want my man to lead because I don't want him to control everything. I don't want him to ask for money or to ask him to do certain things. And you did all mention that you've never experienced a man that's consistent decision-making skills or being that leadership masculine role. So, but if you talk to women who are feminine, who have that traditional masculine man, they don't have that problem. Like their men let them take care of certain things in the relationship. So I do want to ask you, like, where did you get the idea that you think that most men who are leaders are gonna be very stingy when it comes to the money, and then the woman has to ask him for everything?
Because that's how it is. Like, kudos to those that have that. Like, shout out to you, bitch. But to other folks, no. I've heard it because from a few ladies, like, oh yeah, I have to ask my man if it's okay if I could buy such and such. Oh, I have to ask my man if it's okay if I could do. Okay, then if that's the case, you don't have your own funds. Why don't you have your own job so you can have a little bit of something? Because I'm in no position just to keep on asking my man for something that I want or need.
Alexi, I have a question. Those friends that you have, one, are they married? Number two, how long have you been married? And number three, are they the men they're with? Do they fit the description of the masculine traditional man that you expressed on this podcast?
One is married.
Okay.
The other aren't. And how long they've been together, I'm not sure. It's been a minute. I'm not sure how long they've been together. But what was the other question? The men
that those women are with, the one that you hear that rhetoric from, do they match the description of what a masculine man is, a traditional masculine man that you shared on this podcast? Do they represent that to you?
To me, no, because if you have one quality and don't have the other, then I don't know.
So
how can that go hand in hand?
So wouldn't it be, like, just to be fair, wouldn't it be say that the men that you're getting, the women who are you hearing that rhetoric from, and the types of men they're with, is not an example of the traditional masculine man that you express? So they're not masculine or traditional according to you.
Like, they could have masculine traits, but like certain qualities, like, just don't cut it.
No, what I'm saying is, go ahead.
I find it hilarious that you have both sides of the example. You have the woman who manages the household finances and don't have to ask for money, and then you have the women who have to beg their man. And rather than saying, I want that, the freedom to be able to cooperate and to work in with a man who is genuinely interested in my future and who I am as a woman, rather than using that as an example of that is what I want. We pick the most negative of the example and say, these few women have had it difficult with their man. They've had to beg in order to spend some money. I'm going to focus on that result. I find it very interesting that that seems to be the highlight of this conversation.
I'm basing it off of my experience too. So
And in most relationships, you have discussions on where your money going. Even if it's one person has all the money or two people or 50-50 or whatever, in working a relationship, you have a discussion on where the money is going. You know, you don't just say, hey, I want to just buy this. You be like, okay, let me have that discussion with my husband, you know, or let me have that discussion about with my wife about how are we going to allocate our funds for miscellaneous. It's like if you're doing it right, you already know how much money you got to do that at beginning of the month. You know, it's not oh my God, you know, and it's usually things that aren't 100% necessary. It's usually like, okay, there's like those impulses buys that you want to do that are something out of something that you probably discussed already, where you just got to have the discussion. Most times it ain't about begging for stuff. It's about having the discussion and just saying, okay, I want to do this. And then you find if whatever your situation is, if it fits within the budget, if it's something that you both agree on, yeah, you rock with it. But if it's just like, you know, I want to go spend, you know, I know I'm just bringing it back to bags. If I want to spend $500 on this bag, and, you know, that's a discussion you should have to see if, you know, if your budget and your situation kind of affords that, because you shouldn't be just buying things willy-nilly without discussing it with your partner.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, Damien. Before I pass it to the new guest, thank you for Beans jumping on, Fatty. Ladies, did you guys anything to respond to the fellas? Kiamone, Jessica, Lexi. You good? Okay, all right. We'll pass it to the new guest. I do want to come back with the 150 grand. I think that's something we can talk about that. But pass it to you, Beans. Beans, thank you for jumping on the pod.
Beans.
Always good to see you. But Beans, what do you want to add on to the discussion about the topic so far?
Well, I didn't hear most of what was said so far, to be honest with you. I did hear the last part that Paulo was saying, the exchange between him and Lexi. I think it's a good point. We do that a lot. I think it's disingenuous to do that. But at the same time, I do understand her saying that she was using her experience, right? Well, there's a conversation I heard earlier, about the traditional thing, where it's funny to me when women say they want traditional men, right? It's even funnier when men say that you should be a traditional man, because traditionally, especially in our community, Black men were broke, right? Traditionally, these guys didn't even have money like that, right? So, do you really want a traditional man? 1960, $9,900 a year. That's how much the average Black man made. Some studies suggest it was less than that. My study suggests 9,900 in comparison to the white man making 17. I don't want to be traditional. And I think we hung up on this traditional thing. It's over with for that. It's done. I can't remember a time in America's history where we've ever went backwards. Things have always moved forward. So it's over with for traditional. And I don't even know why we hung up on it. Traditional women are done. I can only speak on Black people. Average Black woman, first time getting married, 29 to 30 years old. Average Black woman, first time having a baby, is 22. So no men are out here marrying virgins. Again, not traditional, right? Average marriage lasts 5.5 years. Again, not traditional. Whereas marriages used to last 10, 20, 30 years, or until people died back in the day, right? There is no tradition anymore. So I don't understand why we hung up on it. I think it's time to let that go. Let the women be whores and let the men be emotional and let's make it work for us today. I don't know what else to tell you.
He's a fool, man.
Oh,
Man, man, Beans,
that's a stretch.
Hey, Damien, Bean's gonna join us on the mastermind next time. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Oh,
Appreciate you, Beans. Thank you for joining. I'll pass it to you, Fatty. Fatty, what's your thoughts? I don't know if you heard our conversations, or if not, then
I would.
the topic.
I would like the last seconds. Beans' wet dream was not going to be fulfilled because women don't believe in gender roles until they benefit from them. They are feminists and believe in chivalry at the same time, right? That's the problem with this new era, is that women they want to adhere to everything that is good when it comes to gender equality, but they want to keep the same benefits that if the Titanic goes down, women and kids first. If there's a war happening in Ukraine, women and kids leave. Man, hey, it is what it is. Gender roles, right? So you're never going to get rid of that. And the second time is, it sounds like this is again, men are leaders, but they have to consult with their wife. Part 17,000. Because I only caught Damien, and Damien was saying, oh, I have to check with, like in normal marriages, I'll check with my wife. Why would the leader check with his wife? Do you see what I'm talking about? This is not leadership. This is Stockholm syndrome, where two people are with each other and they follow
Let's
each other.
get it.
Like
Let's get it, Fatty.
Let
me drink my water.
The hostage and the burglar fall in love with each other, and the hostage is, oh my God, you love me so much. Let me check with him if I can get this 60-inch television without him being mad. We are not leaders. If you were leaders, we'll buy that. We'll get home with the TV on the back, and we'll put it on the wall, and there will be no discussion. But because we have to counsel with them, and again, this is 2023. I agree, Damien. I will do the same. Let's leave that alone. We are not leaders anymore. This is a society where she has at least 49% of whatever responsibility is. And if I have to check with her, if I can buy my new PlayStation 5, I'm not the leader. She is as a veto in power or whatever kind of push that we don't want to give him, that we don't want to give to them. So let's just get the leader thing out of the way. She is your partner in crime. You both are going. She's on the car, and you are going on the bank trying to rob that shit. That's what it is now.
The way it is, that if we're going to talk about the current situation, most people are living some form of 50-50. Like in the younger generation, I'm the older generation. Most people use some sort of 50-50.
Yes.
So there's going to be discussions about how you're going to allocate funds and money and stuff you're going to pay like that, and you're going to have those discussions determine what you have as like ancillary money, like, hey, you got mad money, and the smart ones is and this is the way it runs in my household, is like I make 80% of the money that comes into my household, and my wife manages it because she just does it better. And I'm a spender. I'm not one of those people that's frugal. I buy shit spur of the moment or whatever. But I think it's just more effective because it gives her a voice in the situation. You don't take care of it. I think a lot of dudes want to just eliminate the woman's voice in their situation. My wife knows exactly. She has a voice in this in the situation. She knows where the money is coming in and where money is going. Because I value her insight, because I don't like to do that shit.
No, that's fine.
I don't want to go. Well, no, but I'm saying, so we having a discussion on what like money that you have to blow during a month or during a year, I think is the proper way to do it. Is a smart way to do it.
I don't know.
But you said I contribute with 80%, right?
Yes.
Are you 80% leader?
I don't think that's a real question.
No, it's a real question. No, you pinpointed 80.
Okay. Let me answer that question. And I can tell you how I lead my household.
Oh God.
No. It's gonna be quick. No. I'm gonna tell you. Let me say it. Let me say it.
That's fine.
If there is decision, hold on a second. If there is decision where we don't agree, it falls to my authority in the house to make the final decision. I give her, say, for example, the last time we didn't agree on is exactly how much we want to spend on the house we bought.
When was this?
This house we bought 2 years ago.
Damn. So in 2 years, you never disagree with her.
I mean, I don't have to disagree because I kind of lead the direction of the way we're going. Like, you know, the big, she is the fine print person. I am the long-term person. Like if she want to say, hey, I want to go to a restaurant, I want to go to Thai food, I'm like, yeah, let's go to Thai food.
So she's the leader.
She's not the leader.
You are going to buy what? No,
she has insight. She has insight I value, and I take in consideration
Damien?
when I
Damien,
Yeah.
you will buy 1 or 2 houses in your life, right? That's the biggest decision that you have. Kids,
or more.
Kids, she has all the power, so you don't decide shit. She will have kids when she wants to, because if she doesn't, there's no kids going around. So other than buying your house,
cap. We got 3 kids because I wanted 3 kids. She wanted 1 kid. I wanted 3.
Sir, she decided to have your kids. If she said no more kids, you wouldn't have more kids. That's her. She wanted to accommodate you, not the other way around. She lets you take those decisions. So my question again to you is, if you only do the big decisions, she get 80% of the money. She managed everything, like you said.
You're defining leadership with financial. You're saying because you're bringing it down to money. That's why I said that's a kind of a stupid question, because there's more to being a leader than me making more money than her. That's how you think.
You just said the only
That's
time
not how you think.
You said
that's how
Damien,
people in effective relationships don't think like that. They don't think, oh, because I need to make 100% of money, then I'm 100% the leader. It's like, no,
that's fair.
I've shown a history over our 15 years together of good decisions, good temperament, and I put her in a position better than she feels like she could have got by herself.
I don't know that.
So that's why I'm the leader in my household, not because I make 80%. So that whole 80% of the leader, that's bullshit.
No, but that's not what you said.
No, all I'm saying is that was one aspect of why she defers to my leadership.
So how are you the leader if you say I only have the vetoing power when we disagree? And you said the last time we disagree was 2 years ago. So what happened since the day you bought the house until today? She was leading because she was telling you where to go, right?
What? No.
Can I jump in here? Because I think we're confusing this term. It seems like we have different defining
wrapping around money
of what leadership is. Good and effective leaders will always consult people in their care before making a decision.
And
A
remember, these are relationships.
a dictatorship will not consult nothing. And what I hear is oftentimes that we define these relationships as, if you are the man and the leader, you should grab her by the neck and lead her everywhere you go and whatever decision. That's not how relationship works.
Nobody said that.
No, it's implied. It's
No,
implied
nobody said that.
Hold on, Fatty. It's implied in the sense when we use examples like, if you make 80%, you make 80% and contribute.
Nobody said that, Paulo.
Hold on. It's implied when we use the example of, Damien, if you make 80% of the financial contribution, do you have 80% of the power, voting rights, leadership, or whatever?
He should give me a number then. He didn't give me a number. You went around the bout just because he didn't want to give me a number. Give me a number then.
That's not a real question. That's not a
How
real
is
question.
that not a real question?
Wait. It's not a real question because that's not how effective relationship work.
The whole show over there.
No, it's not a real question because that's not how effective relationship work and healthy ones.
Thank you.
There is a discussion. There's a conversation between two people who enjoy each other's company and always have the best interest for each other. Regardless of that dynamic, I, as a man, will always lead vast majority of the decision for this family.
Yes.
It does not mean that her voice is not heard. It does not mean that when she has an opinion on a decision to be made is not considered.
Nobody said that.
It is
okay.
Well,
Paulo,
you're fishing for a figure. We're never going to give you a figure.
No, you never said that. Paulo, you can a podcast. I got you. I'm going to be very quick. Paulo, I guarantee you can say, I know the percentage of money that I pay the bills, and I know the percentage of domestic work that is happening on the house. You have those hard figures, right?
I bring 100% of all the finances.
And what about the housework? What about the housework?
My wife has 100% of all the housework.
Okay, so now we get to a point, right? You see how quick you could identify whatever happens there.
But that doesn't mean that that's not what qualifies him as 100% of the leader.
It's
Can
no
I
less.
say
It's not
something?
to hold them
Yeah,
to that,
let
man.
me get the feedback from the women real quick.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kiamone.
My
Go
real
ahead.
Sorry, podcast.
What do you have? Do you have a wife? Do you
No,
have a
I
house?
This is
I
the
have
road
I
we're
have,
gonna
I have
go
a sex
down.
doll.
Instead of me
You're
begging
what?
Sex
An
doll.
8-year
The blow
relationship
up,
with a woman I love.
like you see the blow up sex dolls on it.
Yeah, you're
Like
just an
you,
idiot.
yes.
If I were you, man, I would not sit up here and listen to Fatty for shit. The man is
Hmm.
not a pure
Do you
example
have a
of
husband?
grown ass man. He don't know the fucking traits of a grown ass man. He's a little ass boy on this fucking thing arguing. I don't got.
Do you have a
I don't got
husband?
time to listen to his dumb ass.
Do you have a husband?
No, you're
No, it's
irrelevant.
fine.
Anything that you say from here on out.
No,
I'm
I know, but that's the thing. I don't ever.
Baby,
I
shut
am a
up.
loser,
Don't
right?
talk to me. Talk to the other female.
No, because you stopped the show
Bye.
to attack me, right? So I'm asking you. I don't have a wife. You got me. Do you have a husband?
She's not gonna respond.
You don't have a husband, right? That's what I thought.
Can we move on from that?
Yeah, she tried to disqualify me for not having a wife when she probably doesn't have a husband and probably 2 kids.
You see, she don't have
Baby,
a ring
you got
on, so
your dumb ass. Go ahead, ask me.
How many baby daddies do you have?
Because she already stated that she was
And if
single
I-
and doesn't have any kids. So that shows that you weren't really
So
listening.
that's the point. Why is she talking about relationships if she has no man?
You have no fucking wife.
That's the point.
You're a sex doll. So why are you giving
Her name is
any sort of
Maria.
life to any of this panel? Why are you even
Modern.
on this panel? You have nothing going on for yourself. Let's really keep
You
it.
don't have a man too.
You
We
look
are the
like you live in
same.
your mom's basement. Let's really keep it.
Kia, do you have a man?
Do you have a woman?
No, I don't.
I will
Do you have a man?
milk you for all your money with your
No,
broke
I
ass.
don't.
You fucking
Oh, you
player.
milk me? I don't have
You
no money
milk me.
to.
I'm a real player with it though.
I don't have
So
no
fuck
money to.
myself.
There's
you
nothing to
think
milk.
that's cute, Lexi? She said she gonna milk him for all his money
I
with
don't
his
have no
broke
money. There's
ass.
Where did this
nothing to milk.
conversation go?
Wait, hold on, Damien.
This
She said
was-
she
this was-
gonna
this
milk
was-
him
for a while. It was pretty constructive.
Wait, Damien,
Nah,
look.
Damien, don't do that. She was the one doing the
Fatty,
first show.
how about now, Fatty? How about now? Damien. She said she gonna milk him for all his money with his broke ass.
Yeah, I don't have no money, but you have no man too, so we are the same. Go ahead, you can continue the show.
Okay, we'll continue. Hey, just FYI for the panel, the one thing, look, we can disagree. That's fine. We don't have to agree with everybody, but we have to keep it respectful. Okay, let's not go after the person individually. Let's attack the arguments. If you don't want to respond or talk to somebody, you don't have to respond. We'll just keep it moving, but we have to stick to the topic of discussion. At the end of the day, like I said, we can agree to disagree. We don't have to like each other's opinion. That's fine. But for the sake of the show, let's just stick to the argument and discussion at hand. Okay, and we'll keep it moving. Jessica,
Will, I've been trying to get in for a minute here, brother.
Yeah. Jessica, you had a question
Yeah.
you wanted to ask. Go
I
ahead,
think I have a productive question because I think we've kind of all moved from traditional doesn't really happen anymore. And so I have a good question. I believe that do we think that if you make 80% of the income, are you paying 80% of the bills? Like
No.
how do you guys feel about dividing that? If you make more money, are you paying more of the bills or is it still 50-50 even though
This is an easy one for
Maybe-
me. I make
Yeah.
100% and I pay 100% of the bills.
I pay 100% of the bills. I said that I pay 80% of the money that comes in the house. My wife has a job that she's doing that brings in money, but it doesn't go toward any of the bills or 401ks and nothing like that. It goes to like the fun shit that we do a lot of times.
Okay.
anybody else
All right. So,
have a job?
Devil, you want to respond to that, Devil, to Jessica's question?
Yeah. I mean, I'm single. For those that don't know, I'm a numbers guy. I like going into the studies and crap. I'm an infrastructure engineer, washed up college athlete. So typically, and I'm 32. That's my background.
Okay. Beans.
So yeah, if you're making
Nah, I don't
more
wanna
money,
respond
do
to
you
that.
think you should
I
pay
wanna
more of the bill?
What I want to say.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking each individual how much of the bills do you pay. So me being single disqualified me. But to answer the question, I think all men should work to be in a position where they can pay all the bills. Because if you are struggling enough so that you even have to ask that, there's so much competition out there both ways that it's if the woman is worth your time, she has options that are willing to pay all the bills. So just be a guy who that's not even gonna trip you up, you know. And if you're not there, then like I said, men peak in their mid 30s, like financially even later in life. So just keep working. If you're 25 having to haggle over bills, just keep working on yourself, you know.
Okay. Devil, thank you for sharing.
I just want to add to that. Again, when we speak about these ideas of masculine traditional men, we do not quantify it by a percentage. If we make such, then we pay such. No, it is our duty and responsibility to the women we pick to have families with, that we will pay and look after you so that you have our children and that we build this life together. It is a responsibility and a duty. We do not quantify it based on how much we make or how much you make.
Yeah.
And so then what do you require of
We
her?
don't live in that society
To
anymore.
to be very attractive to us in our taste and be coachable. Two things, very simple.
Right. So let's go with that. So what about the women who aren't very attractive? Where do they fall?
Well, it could be attractive to somebody.
Not in my radar.
So
It's fine.
Damien, come on, bro. I don't want to go there. So what about the women who aren't very attractive? Where do they fall?
Are you
I
asking
can
him about
answer
his?
that, but I'm going to let
Go
Paulo
ahead.
Festa answer.
I'm speaking specifically to Paulo because he's the one who
Oh.
made the statement.
Okay. Have you ever heard of this whatever that quote is? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay. Provider is in the eye of the beholder. You like that? No, right?
Beauty.
Exactly. So I'm saying, like,
Okay, pod. Here's the
let's
thing.
not
I
do
can
that.
find. Look,
It's a
I can
simple
find.
question, bro. Just answer it for
Yeah,
me, please. It's not that difficult, man. And it's gonna make it look like I'm being difficult. Just please answer the question. You know there's a difference. So let's not pretend
Yes.
like okay. So
I
then
gave
the
you-
women
okay,
who aren't
I-
very attractive, what about them? Where do they fall?
You didn't hear my initial answer, which was not on my radar.
Okay, not on your radar.
Correct.
Absolutely cool. And you all are speaking to what men should be doing, right? Generically, or as we pertain to
Okay,
it in general.
sexually attractive
correct?
to me in my taste. That
Cool,
was the
gotcha.
first.
Damien, we devil's advocate. You just made a state because I'm not playing this game with y'all. Y'all always do this disingenuous shit. You just made a statement about what you think men should do in general, right?
Yeah.
I think they were speaking in general to men should do it as well, right? So they didn't say whether or not you had 50,000, 100,000. They didn't do any of that. They just said what men should do in general. So I'm asking a general question about a woman who is not very good looking, very attractive, as you put it, Paulo. Where does she fall on the spectrum? Does she get the same provision that the very attractive woman get? Yes or no?
Podcast. We seem to be missing a very important point here. There is a societal acceptance of what beauty standard is, and then there is a personal standard of what beauty is to you and I. What I consider very attractive may be different to your taste, but we can, as a society, classify Angelina Jolie as a very attractive woman. Is that not correct?
Absolutely.
20 years ago.
Well, yeah, there's that to say. When we look at relationships, we look at things that are sexually attractive to us. We don't classify it as a whole society thing. We don't look at the most beautiful woman that all of society goes, that's a very attractive woman, therefore we should all go for her.
Yeah.
That's a very disingenuous way of framing your question to say,
not,
what
brother.
about it is because you're
No, it's
using a
not.
societal standard of beauty.
Should a man who can't provide get submission from a
Should
woman?
not-
Yes or no?
No.
Okay,
Not
so
at
you
all.
see how easy that was?
So
Because that's not a
you
beauty
see how
standard.
easy
That's
that was?
That's a skill set. Beans. That's a
what?
skill set. Beauty is not a skill set. That's where you're defining
It
differences
absolutely
are.
is.
You used 3 qualifiers, and one of them was very attractive. So
Okay.
my point is, if she's not very attractive, then where does she fit on the spectrum? This ain't that difficult.
Let me try and
She's
break
not
this
gonna
down
work,
so where you and I
apparently.
can both
You don't
look
have
at it
to.
in this
I don't
way.
want to hijack the show.
All
Jessica, you
men-
made a statement earlier.
all-
You said that
hold on.
we're talking about relationships, not dictatorships. So if we're talking about relationships and not dictatorships, why is it that it seems that relationships don't tend to work out when the woman isn't happy? When the woman isn't happy?
You're asking me? I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Why doesn't it work out when the women's because it's a partnership. One person can't just be all happy, I'm fine. Oh yeah, I'm great, running everything, and then here I am at home miserable. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It's a
No, I'm
partnership.
gonna add some.
Yeah.
Like then the woman's not living in her truth. If she stays, then she's not happy. I don't know.
Jessica, I'm gonna add some context. Whether a relationship ends or not, studies show is contingent on a woman's happiness, and then they did the same for men's happiness, and there was little to no correlation. So
Absolutely.
I think Beans kind of knew that, but I just learned that like 2 years ago. So that was a really
By
interesting
the way,
thing
we're
to
not
chew
going to
on
run
for a
away
little
from
bit.
this comparison of beauty to provision and protection. By the way,
You compared it.
I'm not. No. You use that as a comparison.
Absolutely,
you brought
because
up,
you set that as the standard for why the woman would get your provision. You set it as the standard, Paulo.
Yes.
Okay, then. So
And
then when I
and
ask you if
tried.
she's lacking that,
Okay,
you don't want
so
to just answer the simple question and say, well, no, maybe she doesn't deserve provision. Or even if she's ugly, maybe she should still get, like, it's a simple answer, bruh. You want all y'all want to give all these 20-minute soliloquies and show you that you know big words, bro. What happens to her? Do you think she deserves the same thing or not? If she's not very attractive, does she deserve the same thing that you're giving to your wife? Yes or no?
And I've said that already. I gave you an answer you didn't want to hear, and I
Was it
also
yes or
defined
no?
that.
He
she's
said
not
yes,
on my
but not
radar,
from
therefore
him.
No.
That's what he said.
Yes, but not for me. He said not to me.
Correct, because we can qualify one woman as beauty on a societal level, but on a personal level, it's very different. I'm trying to make that point so you can understand where I'm coming from. I also gave you my answer. So this whole thing about the protection and provision, that's a completely different sets of standards that we're trying to define men by. That's
But
a
it's
skill set that we
absolutely
can
not,
acquire.
though. That's the point. You have a woman sitting right here on the panel right
But
now.
that's not the
You know how old
equivalence
she
of
is, but
beauty.
she's not young, and she
But
doesn't
that's
have
not the
any children.
equivalence of
She's never
beauty
been
when we
married.
compare it the other way, Beans. That's what I'm trying to make. Provision and protection is not the equivalence of beauty when it's put the other way round.
It's what
the
they
reason-
bring to the relationship. You qualified it, Paulo. I don't want to talk about it anymore because you're being disingenuous. Can we move on, please?
Okay, we can move on. We can
Thank
move
you.
on. Just keep,
We
just
don't
keep
have to talk
moving.
about that anymore.
Okay.
So Jessica, the point is this. And I'm glad Devil's Advocate brought up the studies, and salute to you, Devil's Advocate. Good to see you again, man. For some reason, it seems like men stay in relationships. It seems like men actually want to fix relationships. It seems like they actually care about the relationship itself, right? And it seems
I'm not
like
sure if
more
that's the reason.
often than not, relationships end when women leave, especially divorces, and that's not even contestable, right?
What about because there's some men that leave too. So
Some
what he's
men
saying is
versus
that-
the majority. Which one do you think it is? Who
It's
ends
a little bit of
relationships the
both.
majority of the
I
time?
definitely
men or
think
women?
women do, especially now. Women
But
are
that's
leaving,
okay.
yeah.
The statistic is
They're waking
70%.
up.
I feel like it depends on the situation at hand.
Right. So also you can't speak in generalities. Okay. Go ahead, Will.
Yes, I'm gonna just add some context. So what he was saying is it's an actual statistic that women leave like relationships about 70% of the time. And then among the college educated, when a divorce happens, it's initiated among college educated women 90% of the time. So I think again, Beans knows these things, and we talk about him a lot on these platforms. So when he says things like that, they sound outlandish. And you can argue against this. You can argue against the statement that men seem to care more, because you can say, "Oh, that doesn't mean that men care more," but it is an actual fact that that men are more willing to stay in relationships in which they're not happy.
Absolutely. Watch this, Devil's
I
Advocate.
can agree
Watch
with
this.
that.
Hey Key.
Yes.
Can I call you Key? Can I ask you a question real quick? Couple
Go
questions?
ahead.
How many relationships have you been in?
Me, like serious relationships,
Absolutely.
like maybe 3.
3.
Yep,
How many of them did you end?
all of them.
Okay, so let me ask Lexi again. Lexi, you want to make another argument about men leaving the relationships, or you cool? You ready to be honest now?
Can I say something after her?
I just want to know, because I don't like going back and forth with disingenuous people. I just want to know, can we keep it real tonight? Because if not, it's a waste of time. The fact of the matters are the fact of the matters. We don't have to lie about them, right? So the point is, the reason why I'm asking Jessica the question is because to me, I think most of these relationships, specifically for people who look like me, are dictatorships because the women run them. Even to Damien's point earlier, where he made about discussing finances, I can tell you for sure the women in my life weren't discussing nothing. They was going to do what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it because it was their money and they made it. I'm talking about from
Can I make
aunties, cousins. It didn't matter, right? That's been the dynamic in our community for a while now, for a couple of decades, because women have been making money. Right now, as it pertains to black people, the black man is averaging 50,000 a year. The black woman is averaging 46. That's median, which means half of them are making more than that. You're not telling me those black women are conferring on how they spending their money. They ain't doing that. So
Monet, you wanted to say something.
I have a question. This is what I believe, and I want the men to answer it. I believe that if a woman keeps a man happy during the relationship, and if a man is happy, the man will do anything to keep his woman happy during the relationship, and there will be no problems. That's just what I believe. Is that true? Do you guys think it is or no?
That's true.
Yeah, there will be problems. There will absolutely be problems, but you'll have to fall back to. You'll have to work through it. You'll have you'll have the history to work through it. That you'll be like, okay, what she brings is more valuable than the problem.
No, that's true. That's 100% true. The fallacy is most women are in relationships for themselves. So there's no I'm going to make my husband happy. Is what can you do for me? And if you can do nothing for me, I'll find another person that can. End of the story. So the question is right. If the woman was like, let me try to make all men know this. The best way for you to keep a relationship with ladies is stroke the man ego. Like putting a battery on his back all the time, actually do acts of service to the point where he says he's worthy for me to work 12 hours and come back all tired and shit because I value this woman that takes care of me. The thing is, the dynamics of relationships in 2023 is a man has to court the woman, a man has to provide for a woman, a man has to give, and prove what he is, while the woman is, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? What can you do for me? And the day that he loses a job, the day that he gets injured, the day that problems start to happen, and now the woman is miserable, there's no, I'm going to stick up for him because I love him, is I'm not happy. Go talk with my friends. You should pursue your happiness, girl. And now they bounce and they get another person. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah, and Key, I think actually I'm glad that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that question because it made me think. I won't disagree with the premise of your statement, but I will say this because I think it's something to a man going out of his way to try to make a woman happy in that particular situation. In most relationships, one person loves the other one more than the other does, right? It's never equally reciprocated usually, right? So I would say in that situation, the woman is probably finding her happiness in pleasing her man. So he doesn't have to do anything extra or go out of his way actually to make her happy. She finds her happiness in pleasing him. That is optimal for men. Absolutely, of course. And I just would hope that the majority of women who find themselves in that kind of relationship where they are so concerned and find their happiness in pleasing a man have men that appreciate that. That's an awesome question, though.
All right, thank you, Beans. Let me you wanted to hear from all the fellas, right, Key Monet? Yeah, I'll pass it to you, Professor. You want to answer Key Monet's question?
I don't have a metric for happiness. And all of the relationship I try and model after didn't have one either. And they were the successful one. And that's where I try and emulate my relationship after. We don't have a metric for happiness. But we do have a metric for fulfillment. We have a metric for service. And those things come from, and it's funny enough that happiness becomes a byproduct of those acts of service, those fulfillment that we try and find within the purpose and the vision that we have for our family. So I think people spend too much time trying to verify this fleeting emotion of happiness, both men and women, it sounds like. And unfortunately, it sounds like that men are verifying women's happiness so much so to the degree that a relationship is run by a fleeting emotion. I don't measure happiness because it's fleeting. I measure fulfillment and I measure the act of service that we have for each other.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Professor. Damien, you You want to respond to Kia Monet's?
No, I did. I was
Okay.
like, yeah, it's just like I'm in line with what Professor said. Yeah.
Okay. And then Devil?
Yeah. I would agree as well.
He said the devil.
I would say it's very rare. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't even think of, I'm trying to kind of think my way around it. And I'm sure there are exceptions to that rule, but it's definitely a rule that, you know, it's just so rare these days. I'm kind of perplexed even trying to think about. I'm like trying to imagine in my relationships. Yeah, I mean, even the two significant ones that ended, it was because of one moved out of the country. Well, actually, sorry, one was an exchange student and ended up going back to their country instead of staying through through things we couldn't control. And then so. Yeah, and the other one was a difference in morals, so it wasn't her like, you know, doing everything she could for me. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I haven't even seen a real world example that's worked against that rule. It's just so rare to see a woman kind of devote herself in this day and age, because in the age of social media, women are the ones inundated with all these options and attention. So it's really hard for a woman to say, despite me having all these options and all these men, you know, and the facade. It's more like a facade of options, because these men want the women, but they wouldn't necessarily marry them. So it's like you get constant offers for short-term physical pleasure, but that doesn't mean that, you know, because this celebrity or this NBA player slid in your DMs, you know, that, you know, these women feel like the average dude's not worth their time of day, when they realize at 35 that average guy was their only shot at having a family. So
Okay. All right, Devil. Thank you for sharing. As always, everybody on the live chat, thank you so much. Shout out to you guys on the live chat as always. I see a lot of new names. WFO Operative and Anonymous One. Hello. Yeah, thank you so much for always being supportive on the live chat. Don't forget, this is a public show. We do have one more room. Anybody out there want to jump in and join the panel and join the discussion? The public link is on the description of the video. And of course, if you want your voice to be heard, if you have a comment to say, you want us to respond to and read it and say it out loud for everybody, drop it through a super chat. Appreciate you guys. I do want to move the conversation to conclude the last part of the podcast with this. When you have this discussion and when you listen to a lot of modern women talk about the traits and the type of man that you want, it usually aligns with a more traditional masculine man. But the conversation is, you know, usually the traditional masculine men are looking for a certain type of woman. Is usually going to be aligned with the traditional feminine woman. But if you watch that clip that I played in the beginning of the podcast, I guess the opposing view against the women who are saying, I want a leader, I want a provider, protector, I want a man that pays 100% of my bills, I want a man to give me the best lifestyle, I want a man that's loyal, committed, masculine, strong, confident, leadership skills. You know, they're looking for certain things in a woman that's very more traditional, more aligned with his boundaries and his values. But I guess what a lot of the men are saying is a lot of the women, the behaviors and the things that you guys do today goes against what those men are looking for. So the biggest example would be Instagram, right? A lot of you, I know all you ladies have Instagram, and I know a lot of you guys post your bodies, but the biggest conversation is if you're a woman and you're posting your bodies out there and it's revealing or provocative, that is not traditional. So that will disqualify you. That's why a lot of women do say, you know what, why can't I attract or find this man? Because, well, you don't know, but a lot of women are unaware of what a man wants based on my conversation with a lot of women. But a lot of women don't understand a lot of the things you do today that's normalized, that's accepted by modern society, it goes against what the boundaries and what men are looking for in a woman. So I want to have we live in an age today that women are promiscuous, that's normalized to go through a whole phase, hot girl summer. A lot of girls out there looking for sexual liberation. It bounced from man to man. That's normalized today. A lot of women posting their bodies online for all men to see. That's normalized today, right? So a lot of women doing their 50-50 partnership, independent mentality. I will never let a man lead me, tell me what to do. That's normalized today. So I want to ask the ladies, and we're keeping it real on this podcast. If you want a traditional masculine man, and that's what you want, but you guys also engaged in the behaviors today that's typically normalized in Western society, but it's against the very things that traditional masculine men are looking for. So what's your view? Because I know a lot of you guys have Instagram. I know a lot of you guys have previous relationships. Women are no longer virgins. People are no longer getting married. So what's your perspective of engaging in things today that you know that's normalized for a lot of modern women, but are exactly the opposite of what traditional masculine men are looking for? And that's why a lot of women find it hard for them, even the very attractive women who are the 9s and the 10s, but the qualities and the traits they have are not the things that traditional masculine men are looking for. So what are your thoughts to that conversation? I'll start with you, Jessica.
That's not playing with me at all. I think we're forgetting that a lot of these traditional masculine traits come from wanting to control. And so you're not going to tell me what I'm going to be able to do and not do on Instagram. I think there's a level of respect for sure, but if you're going to be attracted to me, then I'm going to, and I want to post things that are attractive, then that's who I am. So then you wouldn't be attracted to me anyways if you seen that that's what I'm posting.
Can your boyfriend go around and liking beautiful girl pictures on Instagram?
No, I don't think that's okay either.
Why you tell him? Why are you controlling him? Why you tell him not to do it?
I said I don't think it's okay. He can do it. I just don't think it's okay.
No, Jessica. I was being facetious, right, Jessica? But do you see how you contradicted yourself? You are not going to be controlled. You can post the most attractive pictures of yourself for thousands of people to see, but your boyfriend can go around on Instagram and like beautiful woman like you posted.
But I also said there's a level of respect. Is what I said.
If you don't respect,
yeah, so you're not gonna.
I will leave it alone because I don't want to overstep. Guys, you got it.
So just save it. Let's get that response from all the ladies, and then you guys can respond. All right. So thank you, Jessica. Jessica, did you want to add on to anything? What you said?
No, I'm good. I think that telling someone to delete their Instagram or not post certain stuff, that relationship's probably not going to work out anyways if that's the type of conversations that you have to have.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's okay. Fair enough. Okay, all right. But Kia Monet, what's your thoughts to that topic? A lot of women say, a lot of women they want a traditional masculine man, or the traits they have usually describe a traditional masculine man, but they don't want to be traditional. Especially a lot of the behaviors that's normalized today. What do you think about that, Kia Monet?
Sorry, I have a lot to say on so I'm going to do it short. But back in the day, there was a lot of hoochie mama shit going on back in the day. So let's really keep it real. Go back, look at photos, look at everything. They were on cars. It was all over rappers. They were doing all of that shit back in the day. So there's no modern woman back in the day either. So let's really keep it 1,000. So it's fast forward. There's no modern men now. I mean, let's just be honest right there. Let's clear the air. When it comes to Instagram, I'm going to be honest. I used to do all that thought shit. Lexi knows I posted everything and anything in the world. Okay. And I live in my motherfucking truth about it. The reason why I stopped was because I met my twin and my twin was working with famous people. And he told me, he's like, look, if you want to work with me, you can't be having that because I don't want no Meek Mill or whatever the fucking person I'm working with try to hop in your shit and just look at you like you're a piece of meat. So I deleted everything off of my gram. And I fucking revamped my shit and made myself better because as a businesswoman now, I know I'm smarter than that I don't want that shit, coming to me because I know it is. Fast forward, would I delete my Instagram? In a fucking heartbeat. I want my man to come take care of me. I don't give a fuck. If I do need an Instagram, my publicist could handle it. But I'm just willing to just delete everything and just cater to my husband, have my kids, because I could live without the Instagram.
Thank you, Lord. I take everything I said about you, lady. You are a queen. No matter I don't know what your nationality is, you are a queen.
But I think honestly, it comes with me being Indian too. I am from the Fiji.
You are an Indian queen. Congratulations. I have different
race than everybody.
That's what you are, an Indian queen.
Okay.
Get the shut up.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. I'll pass it to you, Lexi. Lexi, what do you think about that? Also, I forgot to add on this part, which is the most important part. A lot of women today are single moms that have children. That's also not a pivotal piece. especially if a man wants to decide if he wants to take care 100% of responsibility of the woman. There are women today that's normalized and are single moms, and then for a man, he has to not only take care of you and also take care of all the kids from the previous relationships. That's also a discussion that ties into this. I'll pass it to you, Lexi.
Racism.
Don't do that, Beans. Don't do that. Okay. Go ahead, Lexi.
My nerve.
I'd for sure delete my Instagram. That's not a problem. My personal one, definitely I'm keeping my business one. I'm very to myself. I don't post a lot. I'm very careful with what I post. I do have kids. Even if I didn't have kids, like I like to go out, but I'm still cautious of what I post. But yeah, regardless, with women, like you found them a certain way, right? But all of a sudden it's a problem. You know, they on your arm now. It's a problem with them wearing a certain thing. I don't know. I don't freaking know.
Just like when you meet the guy and he's popping bottles and he's flexing his money and getting attention from all the bitches, you say, "Hey, don't do that. You have a girlfriend now." Doesn't the guy turn around and says, "Let me protect my peace and my girlfriend and stop doing those dumbass shit on Instagram"? He does that, right? So why isn't it fair for him to ask you the same?
Well, she said she would delete her Instagram.
I just said I would delete it, but I'm just saying.
But yeah, she said
But
she
then
would.
you went around and you kind of
Absolutely, because she don't want to be controlled.
Let me,
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta ask one question to Jessica. Jessica, do you have kids?
Do I have kids?
Yeah.
No.
God damn it.
Why?
Let me read this.
Why?
He is
the only woman on the panel who has kids is the black one. That's why.
What does that mean?
And Will just so happened to remember to throw that caveat into the question when he got to the black girl.
No, I remember that.
I'm about to leave.
For that.
Y'all crazy.
Y'all, this ain't fair, man. Y'all can't be doing black people like this. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, man.
I'm gonna read this super chat. Okay. Can we get down to the crux of the issue from Freudian slip? All of these women earlier described wanting a top 10% man. Question for the ladies: Do you think you are amongst the top 10% of women? So this is a direct question from Freudian slip, directed to the ladies. I'll start with you.
That's a great question. Will, can I add my last piece so we don't circle back to the last subject after they answer the super chat? I'm just gonna.
Yeah, let me just get the super chat, and I'll pass it to you. Okay. So this is a direct question. Lexi, do you think you are amongst the top 10% of women?
I'm not gonna lie, I tapped out. What was the whole question again?
Now, this is a question directly from Freudian slip, said that a lot of women describe wanting a top 10% man. Question for the ladies: if you want a top 10% man, then are you a top 10% woman? That was his question.
That's my opinion. So yeah, I feel like I am.
Okay. Kia Monet?
No, and I'm working on it. I'm being honest. Shit.
Okay. And then Jessica?
I guess it's kind of hard to figure out what does the top 10% mean, but I want what I can give. So with that, I would say yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to expect anything crazy if I can't meet you.
Okay. All right. So yes from Jessica and Lexi. Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much, Freudian Slip, for your super chat. And of course, if you want your voice to be heard, drop it through a super chat. Thank you so much. Devil, you have something to say?
Yeah. It was said that, why are men so surprised when women, post X, Y, and Z when that's what they did when they were single? Why is it a problem when they're in a relationship? My response to that would be that there are behaviors that are acceptable when you're single that are not acceptable when you're in a committed relationship. Like I'm talking like official and monogamous. And it seems like, okay, so I don't know, these aren't my words. Some don't credit me for being the first one to say it, but I don't know if you guys have heard this, but how it goes is men are salesmen. They pitch themselves, and women pick, choose, and refuse, right? Women are marketers, and women know this. Women are the best marketers there ever will be, because that's what things like social media have amplified. That's messing with the gender dynamic today. Like when a woman puts up her Instagram, she knows when she makes that new reel of her in that bathing suit, or when she makes that new post, she's going to get comments from these type of guys, and she's going to get X amount of DMs every time. And the more skin she shows, the more messages she's going to tend to get. And it's going to be a certain type of attention, right? So if I had one thing to teach my kids or advise my friends about women, is get good at sorting the ones that vehemently defend their ability to market themselves while they're in a relationship. Those aren't the women you want in long-term relationships, compared to the ones who are like, I understand what comes with certain type of content on my Instagram, and I'm willing to give that up if I'm in a committed relationship, because it says something about their mindset, right? If they're going to die on that hill, I want to be able to post pictures that are going to get me all kinds of sexual attention from other men. You're controlling, you're abusive, because that you just want to, mitigate that. So that would be my advice to men when you hear things like that. It's not just a matter of abuse or control. Women know very well that it's a marketing tool, and they try and hide behind plausible deniability.
Well, here's the question then to Lexi. Lexi, would you date a man that made $50,000 a year?
That's not going to work for me. I have kids.
Okay. How much does he have to make right now?
Where are you going with this? Because I already answered the question earlier.
You did? I didn't hear it.
She said 100,000.
100,000. Okay, 100K. Then just say 100K. So 10 years from now, if he's still making 100K, will that be okay?
Being married?
Absolutely.
10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Probably so, because the kids are older. So then we have freedom to do a lot more things with that money.
Okay. Well, the reason why I asked that question, I was assuming you were going to say no, because I thought you would include for inflation, right? And understand. And then the point would have been that you actually can comprehend having something at first and then needing more later, right? So to the point, when you meet somebody where they're at, we don't always expect for them to stay there forever, right? There are things that are conducive to dating that are not conducive to long-term relationships, that are not conducive to marriage, right? And being honest, somebody that's bringing multiple kids to the table absolutely needs to understand that. Absolutely.
And I feel like if and just for the ladies and
That's
just in general,
shout out
it's
to
one of those
single moms.
It's one of those things where, like, if you do meet a guy who's a higher status guy, who he's probably in a position where his image means something, in society. So you kind of got to realize you're still your own person, but you kind of represent him in a lot of things. Like, the last time my wife posted a bikini picture is because we were on the beach in Mexico. That's fine. And I was standing right next to her, kind of situation. It was one of those things where we were together. So she got to show, but if it's just like they're saying, if you're putting it out there, you're portraying yourself as available and single and stuff like that. And I get it. I'm not saying that you're let me rephrase that. You're not portraying yourself, but that's how society is judging you, is that this situation, people display themselves when they want to get bought. And that's what I think a lot of people kind of equate it with, so my wife knows that she can't be just she can't tarnish her image or tarnish what we're trying to build or what position I'm trying to maintain by doing things that's going to make me look bad. And I'm not, and that's just kind of how it goes if you're with a guy who's kind of doing well and like is got a position to maintain. But if you like I said, on this 50-50 shit, I mean, if that's the thing that you rock with, some dudes don't care. A lot of dudes
man, y'all gotta stop this bull, man. Come on, Damien, man.
What is you talking about? What you got a problem with now?
You about to try to make the argument that a dude that's doing 50-50 don't care about his girl being half naked on Instagram?
No. Let me finish that. Dang, you know, it's like talking about you like talking about wife because like
you literally just said the words.
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me get the thing out. You jumped in with your what you heard and not what I said.
You got it.
Are you sure I got it?
Yeah,
or I'm gonna say two words and you're gonna jump in.
You right, I'm wrong. I'm stupid.
Okay. All right.
That ain't what you were saying.
What you call it? What I'm saying is just like if you have this 50-50 thing going on and you discussed it and you have agreed to it and it don't bother him, you rock out. But most dudes that's in a position where they're paying it give a shit about that kind of shit, wholeheartedly. If it's going to be detrimental to their image in whatever they're doing, like that's just the way I strongly believe.
You can take tasteful bikini pictures, by the way, guys. Not everybody's just out spread eagle on Instagram.
But I mean, if but the context of it, if you're just out taking a bikini picture, like modeling, bikinis or whatever like that, that's that I don't think, like I said, if you're taking a picture when I'm with me, if we at the beach in context of where you should be wearing a bikini with me on the beach, that's fine. Or say you go on a girls trip with your girls or whatever, and you just happen to be at a pool and you take a picture and you post it. But there's different between there's the poses where I'm just doing my thing and I happen to be in a bikini and look at my ass.
I have a question.
For sure.
Jessica's talking about taking a bikini picture at home.
Before the question though, Damien, it's always a cost benefit analysis. Like for someone to perform an action, there needs to be more of a perceived positive side than negative side. Now we know if you're in a relationship, it's negative to get a bunch of sexual attention from men, right? It's because these are the men that'll be like, you would not trust your woman like venting to or talking to about your relationship. They're going to tell her she's right. They're going to tell her she needs to leave you and she should be with them, right? That's just
absolutely
strategy, trying to sabotage a relationship. When women post pictures, especially if there's a lot of skin showing, and especially if they're attractive, they know they're going to get a lot of that kind of attention. So for a woman to say, they can take the pictures, they can send them to their friends, but for them to post them on a public platform, on a public profile where they're going to get a bunch of that attention, they're saying that there's enough positive, and we don't know what the positive is because we don't know their intentions, to outweigh the negative of all that attention and suitors trying to sabotage their relationship.
Yeah, it's affirmation. It's affirmation.
Stay away from them. Work to become a
there's
man
another
who
side of
doesn't have
this.
to deal with those kinds of women, because it's just going to cause complications. You can bet on
there's
them
another
being
side of this
accepting
conversation, David. And I think the whole sexual attention is such a shallow component of this whole dynamic. Most men that we try and define who follows a very strict value system and principles are not worried about the attention. That's not what they're worried about. What they're looking at is, you are the woman that I've picked, and therefore you're the extension of the values and principles I follow. If you act out of those systems, then therefore you are reflecting something that I am not. These are the things that we're mostly interested in. I know that my wife is very attractive, therefore she will get certain attention. I'm not interested in her display and sexual attraction being the recipient of that action. What I'm worried about is that I'm a man of principle, and therefore this woman is moving against those principles. And that's all there is to it. There are far more important things that I want to achieve.
But you probably wouldn't have been with her in the first place.
It's the mindset,
and that's another part of the equation.
To post those pictures. I'm not saying it's just the post itself, but that mindset that the pros outweigh the cons of posting this picture, knowing it's going to get all this attention. Again, it's not the attention; it's the mindset.
No,
I want a woman with a mindset where
women thrive on attention. We know this.
But DA,
I'm not denying that women operate on attention.
I want men to look at me.
Yes,
it doesn't matter because
I
you know
want the
what comes
girls
with
to
it.
see my cute bathing suit.
No. Is attention versus respect. So
I don't believe that.
For sure, and I
that's
agree with that too. I agree with that too.
So that's one thing that you guys have to understand when it comes to Instagram. When we talk about this before, right? There's respect, there's attention. Respect is the man honor, is the man name, is his last family. No man wants his dad, his grandma, whatever, seeing his wife dressing in provocative bikinis, walking around. That is going to lower the level of respect. But women in 2023 are attention junkies. So every time you post a picture in bikini on Instagram, your attention is going to skyrocket, but your respect is going to go down. So what men want to do is, please honor my name. Don't go around looking for attention from other men, because it's going to lower the level of respect for my reputation, my family, and all that. That's all that is. Nothing more, nothing less. Because if women were not seeking for attention, they wouldn't be fighting for taking pictures in bikini. Why don't you go to the church and take a picture? Why don't you go to the mall and take a picture? You can do 1,000 pictures. Why do you have to post yourself in a bikini? Because you miss external validation. And that's fine. Everybody needs it here and there. But inside of a relationship, you have to contain that, because that can be very dangerous. And the only way that women usually understand that is when their man is doing the same. When the man posts one picture on one story, and now you grab the phone and there's 4 women saying, oh my God, you went to Paris. Oh my God, look at that car. Like, when women have that man in front of them, now they start to see a problem. I don't want you to talk with women. I don't want you to post this. But usually women are the ones that have the knife and the cheese. So they do whatever they want. That's exactly what happens.
And that's why it was so weird to me, because the most of these pictures that we see, they taking these pictures at home in front of mirrors, right? It's why do everybody have to know that you just bought something new?
And podcast,
why does everything you buy have to be so revealing?
And podcast, right? I already checked the 3 of them. Their 3 Instagrams while we were talking. Go there and watch it. Is it there? Go there and watch it. You can talk a good game and say, oh my God, it's not for attention. If I click on your Instagram and saw what I saw, I will like, God damn it.
But Keith said she was.
You got my attention now.
She was with the
we're on this podcast for attention. To say that
she was busting it down on IG, and she fixed it and changed it all because she wanted to be professional, which to me is kind of weird.
No,
she's the one. You've never been married, right, Keith?
What? You said what?
You've never been married, right?
No, I never been married.
So never been married and don't have any kids.
Nope.
Right? So it seems like she would be the main person who would be doing this. If she's figured it out and she has some level of understanding of what this can do to her reputation, I think the excuses at this point fall on deaf ears.
I do have a question for all the men though before I get off this panel, because we're about to end it soon. Okay, because I'm in a different headspace. I don't care what he's talking about. I don't care what he's seen. I live in my truth. I will explain everything.
I saw the pictures in lingerie. That's what I saw.
Oh, yeah, that was for my photo shoot.
Absolutely. It's fine.
1,000. I don't got OnlyFans no more.
Yes, it's fine.
It was for promo.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you're not gonna just walk by like you didn't say what you just said.
Oh no.
she has put pictures in lingerie in an IG. It's fine. She's single. She can do whatever she wants.
You guys have an issue when I sit up here and I'm like, I live in my truth. I'm telling you, I had an OnlyFans. Yeah, I did, and I made some money off of it.
She said it out loud.
But I'm sitting up here and
so your business account was OnlyFans? That's what you're talking about?
No, my business. That's my real personal page.
So when you said I will delete my personal page, but I will keep my business. Your business is the one.
I will let my publicist handle it. My publicist can handle.
Yeah, but that one is the OnlyFans, right? The one that more racy.
More, so all that stuff is just old now.
Yeah. So what do you have on that more professional one? More racier pictures, more exposing.
No, all of them is me being in school, telling you about how my life changed. Have you read anything? No, you just went straight to the ass shots because that's what you're looking at.
It's my fault now. It's my fault that you have ass shots on your IG.
He said you went straight to him.
Wow.
Hey, I know Jessica, you wanted to add something. Go ahead, Jessica.
Well, just because I had brought this up with the whole bikini thing, I just wanted. And Fatty, you said that you looked at my IG. I would love to hear if you think that my Instagram is racy. And there's bikini pics on there. I just want to agree.
No, put it on the back for everybody to see.
I'm like, sorry.
No, I don't want to make judgment because they are going to tell that I am being extra aggressive. So
I just
put it
think
on
that
the
there's a
put it on
balance
the
to
back.
everything.
No,
Everything
it's
has to
fine.
be
Put
so
it on the back,
extreme.
and Damien and Paulo and Will and David that are really good
To
men
be
are going
honest,
to judge
Patty,
it
I
for
know you're
themselves.
the type of person you'll still fuck all
No,
of us.
no, we
I know
won't. No, we won't. Let
Not I.
me interject
No,
in
I
here.
just said, well,
Hold on,
Let me
hold
let
on.
me
Why
add
would
on
you
to
not
this
say
Guys,
Dave?
let's go. We have to go one by one. One by one. Paulo, go ahead.
I want to
That's the second shot tonight.
That this whole idea about Instagram and social media is a very interesting conversation for me, because I can agree on one hand that yes, there are certain behaviors that women display on social media that I don't agree with. However, why are we hiding our hands when it is our attention as men that are validating these behaviors at a higher number than we do the women that we try and elevate?
What
It's
does that
sexual
mean?
attention.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? We play a part in
blaming the
verifying these
victim.
bad behavior that we keep talking about so much and demonizing women for. We play
Yeah,
an
but
active part in that.
yeah, but Paulo, if women love drug dealers and violent men, I don't have an excuse. I'm a drug dealer because women love drug dealers. I am a conscious being, an adult, and if I want get woman, I'm not going to sell drugs because I want to get more woman. I have my personal responsibility about it. So when women post provocative pictures because they want the attention of most men, they chose to do that. They can hide behind, oh man, I love provocative pictures, so I'm going to
Fatty,
post them. They are
just
adults.
as much
We are adults too.
okay. Yes, just as much as they are adults and they have a choice to make, you also have,
Mhm.
as men, we also have a choice where which behavior we uplift more so in society. And it seems like
Yes.
we uplift the bad behavior and demonize it at the same time. It's contradicting to me,
No,
and we don't mention this in this conversation
I love
in a
hoes.
vast
How
majority.
do we uplift it?
Let me add.
Now, what do I think what Balafesta is saying is we often complain about OnlyFans girls, but we all know 99% of people who keep that industry afloat and thriving are men. So we complain about women
So is
engaging
Instagram.
as
Oh,
OnlyFans.
man, don't do the hyperbole, Will, because
No,
that's
I'm not
not
doing the
true.
hyperbole.
It's always going to be that
I'm just
way.
saying
It's sexual
that's what he's
attention.
talking about. I do hear from a lot of people, men on the live chat complain about modern women, OnlyFans, Instagram, but they're also the same men participating and men and giving that.
And you know
women.
that if she still had that OnlyFans, half the men who would be talking shit would go subscribe.
Thank you. And they
Whoa, really?
You
No,
know
come
that's
on, man.
true.
You guys are playing dirty now. Now you
know
guys are
that's
playing dirty.
true.
Absolutely,
So,
dog.
so,
same men
yeah.
who
So,
talk
one
shit,
second, one second,
like,
no, 1 second. I have a
go
question
ahead.
for you, Kia Moore.
Yes, sir.
Kia Monet. Sorry, apologize.
Yes, so.
Man made you create an OnlyFans, or you
No,
decided I
I
want to make
decided.
money, so I'm going to do an OnlyFans.
I decided on my
Thank you
own.
very
I'm a
much.
grown
Well,
ass woman.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a grown
Can't
ass
wait.
Fatty.
But what I'm
No,
saying
what-
is, men like you who sit up here and bash women will be the same man that will be in my DM.
How am I bashing woman? I love hoes.
That's
I already told
crazy.
you.
And I love your mama too, because she won too.
My mama
So
was
we
the
all
hoe
love
before
hoes.
too, probably. That's fine.
Yeah.
What
No.
are we going to do now? Like, it's fine.
I want to
This
know,
is-
does your
this
mom
is-
have
let,
this?
let me read. Let me read this super chat real quick.
Because
Let me read the super chat. Freudian slip with another super chat. Shout out to you, man. Thank you.
Slip.
Man, Freudian slip, you're on the roll
Cashing
right now.
out.
So I appreciate you, Freudian slip. You've been on the roll right now with the super chats. Appreciate you. But another
Mantra
super
of the
chat.
show.
Ladies, please know when you describe men, you had measurable, tangible metrics. Top 10% men only. However, for yourselves, it was how you feel about yourselves. Standards for thee, not for me. All right, thank you, Freudian slip. Appreciate you for your super chat.
You already know that.
Thank you so much. But Jessica, you wanted to add on to something? You wanted to add on something, Jessica? Go ahead.
Not in particular.
You good? Okay.
I'm still waiting on Paulo to answer my question.
I'm only a drug dealer because people do drugs.
How is
What's
it
your
that
question,
we
Beans?
uplift it? How is it
People
that we
love
uplift
cocaine. That's why I sell cocaine, because people love cocaine. It's not my fault. It's their fault. They want my cocaine. I have to sell it.
How do we uplift bad behavior?
Yeah, how do
By
we
highlighting-
uplift the
Okay,
women's-
okay. So, do we agree that women operate on attention?
Yes.
Yes.
So why do we pay attention to the bad behavior more than we do the good behavior?
We pay
If we
to both.
understand the fundamental operation of a woman is attention, why do we pay attention to the bad behavior, the OnlyFans, the Instagram, more than we do the women
Yeah.
that deserves it, that we try and advocate for,
Petty.
that
We
are
pay
the good
attention to
feminine
both.
women.
all that
Petty,
shit.
no.
No, we don't.
Because
No,
they
yes, we do. Because if they look the
Okay,
same,
fatty.
one woman is going to get dick
That
and a
is a
glass of
lie.
water, and another one
That
is
is a
going to get
lie.
commitment and a ring.
Okay, so
99% of the content on this platform is misbehaving women and highlighting their misbehavior. That is attention towards behavior we do not want to condone.
that is a great
Is it
point.
a 50-50? Do we highlight good women as much as we do bad?
No.
No, but
No,
there's respect
but
versus
that's not.
attention.
Well, we
Go ahead, Todd.
over the
Women
past.
don't operate on respect. Let me make that very clear. They do not operate on that. They operate
Okay,
on
Paulo.
attention, and they can be extremely selfish. That's fine for me because I understand that.
Okay, Paulo, you had a life before you got married. Did your wife get way more attention than every other hoe that you fucked and led them on the back? Who got more attention from both?
How do you mean?
You had the life before you got married, right? And we
Yes.
talk about it. You, the
Yes.
one night stands, all of that. Who got more attention? The mother of your kids and your wife, or all the hoes that you be fucking before? Who got more attention?
My wife, obviously. She
So
was the
that
one that got
proves
picked.
that we have two systems where one woman is going to get raw dick and a glass of water, and another woman is going to get the ring, a commitment, and a husband. That woman will be the woman that gets more attention because she's getting something
Correct.
that all the other women are not getting.
Correct, Fatty. And that's what I'm trying to question here is that we seem to be operating on the opposite spectrum of that. We highlight the women we shouldn't be, give them the attention rather than the women. For example, you're using my wife, who had more attention than anyone else who was misbehaving and not following the principles and values I wanted it to be adhered to. So what are we talking about?
Okay, but the question proposed to you, brother, and I know you hate words, but the question proposed to you is how are we uplifting it? By your own acknowledgement, guys are doing
Yes,
shows
Beans.
and making
Yes.
lips
Is that not
moving.
proof
lips
enough?
moving, which means I'm not
You're
through
not
talking
hearing.
yet, right?
Well, you're not hearing
Lips
me, Beans.
moving.
You're looking for a very specific answer. That
I'm
is
looking
not
for an
what
answer
I'm
to the
giving
question
you.
that I asked. That's it. But if I could
Yes.
just finish
How
my
are we
sentence so that I can
uplifting
make
bad
sure the
behavior?
audience understands
How
the question
I
that
don't
I
care
asked
about the
you,
audience.
right?
I'm talking to you, Beans.
I know.
You asked
I'm
the
trying to
question.
make sure that the
How
audience
are we
understands the
uplifting bad
question that I
behavior?
asked, right?
If
So the
99%
question
of
that I
the
asked is
content
how are
that we
we
highlight is
uplifting
bad,
it?
yes,
That's the
Beans.
question.
For the last time, out of the 100 times I've given you the same exact
You
answer,
haven't given me anything 100 times.
99% of the content online is highlighting bad behavior. Therefore, we are uplifting this behavior more so than we do good behavior.
Okay.
We have agreed that women operate out of attention. Have we
Mhm.
not?
Yes.
So why are we, if we understand this at a very fundamental basis that this is how women operate, then why do we give them the attention that they want when they misbehave rather than highlight and give attention to the women that we want to promote?
Mhm.
Well, can I-
So let me ask. Let me
No,
ask
answer that
Damien.
question.
So-
Answer that question.
Answer the
I'm
question.
asking you a question.
You're
Don't run away, Beans.
I'm
Answer
not
that
running
question.
away. I just
Why are
want
we
to talk
doing
to
it?
somebody who I think is going to be more honest. So, Damien, when women are protesting,
Here you go again,
aka
Beans, running away when it
highlighting
gets too hard for you.
grape or SA, are they uplifting it?
No.
So when you're protesting against something, you're not uplifting it, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But that's not his question. But I'm curious what your answer to Bonifac's question
He hasn't
is.
answered my question. That's the point. See,
You're
this is about
stuck on
respect at this
semantics.
point,
You are stuck on
right?
semantic,
See,
Beans.
I told you he was
Okay?
going to say that, right? Like words don't. I just said he don't care about words. Words don't matter, right? I asked you, how are we uplifting it?
because you're giving it because we're giving attention.
What he's saying is like if a woman.
No.
Hold on.
We
To the
are-
point that
we are-
Damien just made, that's not uplifting it.
Hold on.
No,
Hold on.
no,
What he's
no,
saying?
no,
No.
no.
What he's
No,
saying is if a
70s,
woman is posting a
man.
bikini picture, it gets
Yes,
20.
she has
It gets
1,000 likes,
5,000 likes.
man.
If she posted a picture of her
You are
hugging a
validated.
baby,
Beans
it gets
understands.
17.
Beans is a
You know,
very
that's what he's
intelligent
saying.
man. He's just Beans.
but
You're a
we
very
understand
intelligent
that,
man.
but the point is that
No,
he
hold
said
on.
we're uplifting.
You're a very
Yes, but
intelligent
it's
man. You
validation.
can
Let's
understand.
substitute the word with validation. Can we do validation, please? Like men are validating hoes, and not
No, Beans
validating
is
wives.
being
Can we do that?
It's being what?
disingenuous. You're
It's
being
being what? You
disingenuous
said it, did he?
because you
Damien, I know
understood.
you don't like it,
You
but Damien, did he
understood
say
my
that we were
answer.
uplifting it? Damien,
Who
yes
said I
or
don't
no?
like
Damien,
it,
From my
Beanie?
question.
please. Yes or no? Did
You,
he say we were
understood
uplifting
my
it? Yes or no?
you understood my
Yes, he
answer
said
and you're
Okay,
running from
then.
my
Is that
question.
lie?
the
I'm not
correct
gonna
word?
lie.
Is that the correct word that he described? The action
No,
that he described, is that uplifting it? Yes
He
or no?
did
No,
use
it
the
was not the
word
word.
uplifting.
Okay, so then I was taking him at his word.
Okay,
You don't get to
podcast.
try to make me wait,
What's
fatty.
wrong with uplifting?
No, it's
You
What's
don't
wrong
get
because
to
with
try to make
uplifting?
me be the
Hey,
bad
guys,
What
guy.
is
Nobody's
wrong with
nobody's
Wait a
uplifting,
second,
Beans?
fatty, please,
Beans,
brother.
fellas, we gotta.
Beans,
let's
what is
get on
Hello,
wrong
with
you
with
it.
don't
We
get to
gotta-
make me be the bad guy because I'm taking you at your word. I'm listening to
Beans,
what you're
what
saying,
is
so I'm
wrong
trying
with
to understand it, which is
uplifting?
why I'm asking you
Can you
questions.
listen for once rather than yapping on for
Fuck
however
you.
long? Can
I am
you
listening.
explain what's wrong with using the word uplifting?
Yes,
What is
because
wrong
you're
with
not
that?
uplifting something when you're protesting against it. It's not
We're
the
not
same thing.
You're not protesting by subscribing to OnlyFans. You're not protesting when you're liking Instagram pictures. They're not the same,
Absolutely.
Beans.
So can we?
Absolutely, but the description that you used was that we are doing
It's
shows.
Guys, we're beating.
No,
When
it's
you was
irrelevant.
asking me, you were
Can
asking
we?
me to let you had a conversation, Fatty. I wasn't
No,
interrupting
can
you.
you
I'm
replace the
just
word
asking you to just
uplifting
let us
for
have a conversation
validation?
for 1
Everybody,
second.
go ahead.
Uninterrupted, please, bro.
Go ahead, sir. You got this.
Paulo,
Beans,
it's not the example that you use. The example that you use is that on these platforms every day we are doing shows complaining about these women's behavior. That's what you said. I can rewind the tape if you want me to. That's what
I
you
don't
said.
disagree.
So when you
I
said
don't disagree.
okay, so when you said
what
that
is wrong
and
with
used
that?
the word uplifting, those
What
two
is
things are
wrong
not
with
the
that?
same, which is why I questioned it. So
They
don't
are
make
the
it seem like I'm
same.
the
No,
bad
hold
guy
on, Beans.
because
That is why
your
the
statement was incorrect.
This is why I had to ask, do we agree that women operate out of attention? And if they do, when we give them attention, it is assimilated to being uplifted for a behavior that we don't condone. You just don't listen.
I do listen. The
You're very
example that you used
disingenuous
was
and
us
no,
protesting against the bad behavior.
Can
And
we
you don't
change
want to
the
pretend
word
like you didn't do that.
Hold on. We gotta move on. I appreciate you guys had some time.
Jesus
we can agree or disagree, but we gotta keep the show going. We gotta keep the show going. All right. Go ahead, Devil.
Your microphone is off.
Yeah, your mic is low, Devil. Your mic is low. No, it's still low. It's still
No,
low,
it's kind
Devil.
of.
Yeah, I'll move on and I'll come back to you, Devil. All right. I had a question for the ladies. I think Jessica, you brought this up. So Jessica, you willing to die on that hill that you will never delete your Instagram, even if you meet a man that's part of that top 10% man. He is the leader, the masculine leader. He's everything you want. You're still gonna die on that hill that you're not willing to delete it at all, to give an opportunity to be with him.
Yeah, because I'm not posting inappropriate stuff on there. And so if what I consider is inappropriate, we would have, but that's why we would get along, is because we have like minds, like views. So if you think that my level of what I consider is inappropriate or appropriate, then yeah, why would I delete it? Because I'm not posting anything that would offend you or tarnish your reputation, because I have a reputation too. So, you know, it's not just
Why
about
doesn't that apply to him liking other women's photos? He's not posting.
And again, it's
anything.
just, as long as they're not inappropriate. Yeah, if some girl is bent over backwards, spread eagle, whatever, yeah, let's
Liking
probably not
bikini
like those.
pictures.
But I'm not doing that either. So
No, liking bikini pictures. He just goes around and likes bikini pictures of beautiful women on IG.
In front of you while y'all together.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I think that's all circumstantial. It just really depends. You know,
I don't know.
I'm not one to be like, you know, oh, I seen you like something, like that's going to be like an issue. Like, I think it's circumstantial. It all depends. Yeah, are you liking every single one of them? You know, are you DMing her? Like, there's just other layers to that.
Devil.
But I don't think that I post anything inappropriate. So I would want the man that I'm with to be confident in what I post and also consider them to not be inappropriate.
I'm not sure if you understand.
They're not.
That's problematic.
Devil. Your volume is still low, Devil. Your volume is still low.
Something is
Can,
wrong.
can
Something
you,
is wrong with the
Devil, can you
mic.
check your microphone? See what
Okay.
Yeah.
microphone are you using?
Yeah, Damien,
What-
go ahead, Damien. Go ahead, Damien.
What I think, what you're saying, Jessica, from my understanding, is you would just look for people. You wouldn't entertain anybody who didn't have congruent values when it comes to social media. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so they got to be aligned. But the I think what the men are saying is like the hypocrisy comes if it doesn't if his value if you had that, if you change where he couldn't like women as well. It couldn't like
But
pictures.
wouldn't it
Like I'm
be
saying, no.
him
Let me
posting?
finish. Let me finish. Similar to what you are posting. If you had a woman, if you posted a picture in a bikini showing off, you got a new bikini or whatever, and 8,000 dudes liked it, and another woman who wasn't you did the same pose in the same bikini, could he be one of the 8,000 dudes that liked her picture?
But see, that doesn't make sense to me because if I'm the one that's posting and that's going to be the issue, so then wouldn't the comparison be whether he can post in
No, there's a
swim
different
trunks?
mentality with it. There's a different mentality. There's a
Why?
because
Go ahead,
I'm
Damien.
not in control of who likes my
Go
stuff.
ahead,
So
Damien.
shouldn't
Yeah.
the comparison be if I can post bikini pictures, then I should be confident that you can post you in your trunks?
No,
No,
that's not what he's saying. He's saying if you are okay with getting male attention from people that are outside of your relationship, you should be okay with
him
that
giving
woman,
it.
with your boyfriend, give male attention and validation to other woman outside of you. That's what we're talking about.
I don't think that's the same. I think that's apples and oranges.
How is it not the same?
In my opinion. In my opinion.
So you can get attention from men outside of your relationship and it's fine because it's just you. But your man can give outside
Yeah,
validation
because
to a
one
woman
is
that is not.
receiving and one is giving. So if
Yeah,
I'm
you
walking
are
on the
receiving.
street or if I'm at the beach and people are hyping me up, then that gives him the right to go hype up other women. That's not the same. Ladies, where are we at with
Jessica,
this? Because that doesn't
no,
seem like the same.
I think what the men are trying to say is that the attention, so I'm guessing what you're
I
trying
get what
to.
they're saying.
you're
It just
trying
doesn't
to-
make sense.
No. I think what you can correct me on this. The equivalency in trying to compare the two is that you're doing something for attention, so can he. That's fine. What I think from our end is we understand men and women, we get different attention, so it's never the same. So the equivalent of us trying to justify that behavior is if you're getting attention from us as men and we give attention, there shouldn't be a problem if that is the intention from the beginning.
I have a better way of explaining it. I feel like you're okay with posting whatever you want to post on social media, and then you have a man, and I hop in your man DM, and I'm like, "You fine as fuck. What's good? Would you be okay with
There's a
me?"
difference between a DM. No.
Well, okay, well,
DM in a like. It's
That's
two different
on
things.
him.
Okay, so liking pictures then. So would you be okay with me liking your man's pictures?
Yeah, it's social media. I mean,
So she just said okay.
No, Key, that's not it. Key, listen. What it is, what we're trying to get you to see, Jessica, is look at it from your own point of view. From your own point of view, you're putting yourself out there, right? From your own point of view, you're garnering all this attention from probably other women's men. So you should be okay with other women receiving attention from your man. It's called karma.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I agree to disagree because I just don't think it's the same equivalent. Like, I'm
See,
not
you're
going
still
to be
looking
mad
at it as an
my man
equivalent.
if
That's what I'm
somebody's
saying. Look at
writing
it
in
from
his
your
DMs.
own
I'll be
point of
mad if he
view.
responds. I'll be mad if he responds because that's his actions. You can't be mad at something for someone else's actions. And as what I was going to say before, whatever I post, if I post a bikini pic or whatever it is, I encourage you guys to look at my Instagram. Like I said, I really think everybody probably thinks I'm half naked on there, which I'm not.
You
But
said bikini. That's half naked. That's more than half naked, actually.
and so what if I want to be a bikini model and get free bikinis and get sent on vacations by Bikini Brown?
Absolutely, by all means, I think you should do that. But what I'm saying is that the
But I
reason why
can't
it's problematic is because you're saying you're looking for somebody to come in and say whatever your likes and dislikes are, I will capitulate to them. You're not willing to compromise. You're not willing to concede. It's your way or the highway. Who wants to
That's not
sign
what
up
I
for
said.
that?
I'm a Libra. I'm very compromising.
Really? So then
Yeah.
now you have a man. He's 80% because that's all we usually get when we get the best. He's 80% of everything you could want. And you're not willing to just put some clothes on your Instagram from here on out to get 80%? Because he's
I
a
never
good
said
man
I
who
wasn't
loves you
willing.
and is going to be a
I was
great
just saying,
father.
like, what is that even coming from the jump? Because I don't think that I would even warrant that from the
Jessica,
beginning.
but that's the point.
If he does not want his woman, look, this is something that has been lost on the new generations, Jessica. Men don't really want other men to know what their women's bodies look like. I know because of the whole slut walking feminism, all this other stuff, that has been lost. But in reality, men just don't want other men.
And podcast is not.
I did mention that there's a level of respect which I can agree to, and yeah, of course, I would respect and be considerate of what I'm posting. But am I deleting my whole Instagram and am I wearing turtlenecks? No, because I have confidence in myself, and that's what I like to
Yeah, it's
do.
not that extreme. You don't have to go to that extreme
Yeah.
with it. We're not saying go to that extreme.
Well, that's
This-
what
this-
it originally started at, is like getting rid
no,
of
basically saying it's like, what is like, if you know you with him and he knows in you with him and he says, I'm uncomfortable with the 80 pictures of you in bikinis just showing off your body. Could you delete those? And like moving forward, if we go to Mexico and we take a picture and you happen to be a bikini, fine. Or something like that. It's he's just saying, there's a difference between displaying and just like it just happenstance. Like how it just happened to be that we're in Mexico, I'm in a bikini and whatever. And you're saying, look at me, I want your attention and validation through your likes. Like you should be, the focus should be, the only intention of validation should be my man's. That matters the most to me.
The question is, what do you get from it? Right?
It's an validation.
She just said free bikinis.
I mean, it's the reason why everybody's on social media.
Because one thing,
is my mic okay?
Absolutely, you good now, DA?
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
good.
Can I just add one thing?
Yeah. Let me just go to Lexi because I know
Go
Lexi
ahead,
you
go
haven't
ahead.
had a chance to talk for this whole time. So I'm gonna pass it to you. Did you want to add on anything?
I am okay.
You good, Lexi?
I'm okay right now.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you're involved. Okay, all right. Thank you, Lexi. I'll pass it to you, Devil. Go ahead.
So you remember, see, this conversation ties perfectly into when I said women are marketers and men are salespeople, right? Jessica knows, and everyone on this panel knows, that a man posting a picture where he looks kind of dapper, he looks handsome, is not going to get him the same kind of attention that a woman who posts a picture showing skin. As a matter of fact, it's going to be, 10 times less attention. Some women, if you're attractive enough or if you show enough skin, 100 times, 1,000 times the attention, right? Women will hide behind plausible deniability, right? They'll try and tell you that a man posting X is the same as a woman posting X when they know damn well that it's not, right? Men pitch, men present themselves to women, men slide in their DMs, right? So by Jessica saying what she said, she's saying, I want to preserve and protect my ability to market myself, even though that's not my intention, it's my ability to, while hindering my man's ability to pitch himself. Which, again, in terms of power, it's the same thing, because men approach and women pick, choose, and refuse. That's the equivalency that Beans is trying to make, and that's why that phrase is so, it works so well, is because of the marketing versus sales pitching. That's their point.
Men give, women receive. That's good.
Yeah, it's the similar thing is, and I think Jessica is going to understand this, right? Imagine that you say it's okay for you to receive gifts from other men, even if you're in a relationship, right? It's okay for me. He just wants to give me a Rolex, I get it. He wants to give me some Louboutin shoes, I get it. The equivalent will be, are you okay with your man going to other women and give them things, send them cash apps, all that? That's the equivalent. Because men, like Devil said, they give and woman take. Most women will be not okay with this man sending a random cash app to Lexi. Oh, Jessica, I date you. Let me send to Lexi $100. Let me send her some gifts. Most women will say, no, I want all your resources for me. So what we're asking is, if you want me to give you all the resources and not to give to other women, please stop taking gifts from other men. That's the fair exchange. And this is what we're talking about on the situation where, and I don't understand, if your IG is so low key, you don't have nothing out of the other world and all that, why are you fighting so much to keep it? What do you get from it that you can get from WhatsApp, having all your friends' numbers and all that, and when you want to call them, hey, how are you? Like, what do you gain from it other than attention from other people that are not on your relationship?
I mean, I guess people take likes and Instagram more seriously than I must, but if you must know, I mean, I like photography. I like a curated, aesthetic. I like to go on vacation.
You
It's
can
a good
go on
memory bank for
vacation.
me.
You can you can go on vacation.
I mean,
You
I'm
can go on,
single, so really, my Instagram can be whatever.
but that's the point. You can go on vacation, no take no pictures. You can literally take photographies and let it on a gallery, or go get put it on the wall. Right? Every time you get in your house, look at me on that beautiful.
And we should all
screen.
delete all our social media, because that's why everybody does social media. That's why we're on this podcast, is to connect and get attention from other people.
So you are
So we
snitching
should
on
all just stay in our rooms.
So
and
you are
anything we like.
Hold on, Fatty.
No,
Fatty,
no,
hold
no,
on, hold
no.
on. But we're not naked.
No, beans. No,
We're
beans.
not
Beans.
showing any flesh.
No, beans. She's snitching on herself. She confessed is to talk with other people, to get other people validation, to have access to other people. She snitched on herself.
You know,
and
there's
it's fine.
females on Instagram too.
Oh my god.
Not everything is done in the eyes for men,
How do you like my bikini?
but whatever.
Oh, go ahead, Devil.
Is this year?
You're muted.
You're on mute. You're on mute, Devil.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I had a question for the men. Women can chime in too, but and again, to keep things less personal, I'm going to not, because I don't know anything about Kiamone. How do you say her name?
And you're welcome.
Kiamone.
Go ahead.
Okay, and Jessica, again, I don't know anything more about you guys than what you've said on this podcast. So I'm gonna ask the men, what would you be more like? Who would you be more likely to consider in a relationship? And I'm not going to use them, but I'm going to use women similar. So in general, a woman who has done OnlyFans before, but has made realizations about the culture and how it's straying from what was traditional and what works in relationships, and is falling into her femininity, similar to what Kia Monet said. Or a woman who has had never had an Instagram, or sorry, never had an OnlyFans, but vehemently defends, her ability to post bikini pics on Instagram. So that's where she's at now. So she's not like reforming, but she's not like, she doesn't have an extreme past. She's more like a typical modern woman.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a woman who had the whole phase and is moving in the right direction, or a woman who's like vehemently defending her ability to market herself, saying that her intention isn't to market herself, but knowing the attention that comes with posting bikini pics on Instagram? Which one would you guys prefer to consider?
The second one.
Rather
the second one, because the second one is the average woman. She's just like a million woman out there.
Right.
She's not going to actually. Nobody. Devil is not going to say, "Damn, Fatty, you come for a woman dressed like with bikini pictures," because everybody lets their woman do that now. The OnlyFans model, she comes with a ton of baggage, problems, all that. If her pictures are on the internet, because once they get to the internet, you know what happens.
I disagree.
So even if the former OnlyFans model's willing to damn near convert to Islam for you, you're gonna go with the second option.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I disagree.
Okay, that's your answer. What about you, Beans and
I disagree.
Damien? I'm just curious.
So I'll put it to you like this. I thought you was gonna use all three of them. I would have said Lexi, but then I would have had to change my mind. Absolutely. But that was up until the point where she said she needed 100K. So that lets me know where her mind is at, right?
I said 80 to 100.
Yeah. So she doesn't actually value.
She's like, Beans, you're kind of cute. I'll cut you some slack.
No, she doesn't actually value men.
Hey, Will, can you lend me $20?
Who?
I mean, I have to wait till everybody get through. Okay.
I don't value
so
what?
she doesn't actually value
Before we
men.
go down that
I
road,
need you.
Damien
Hold
and
on,
Will,
hold
what do
on,
you guys
hold on.
think?
So much.
Devil's advocate. So she doesn't actually value men.
I
right?
need you not to speak for me. Thank you.
I'm not speaking for you. I'm giving
But
my
you
opinion.
are. If you just like who
I'm giving
just
my
don't like
opinion of
me,
you.
you
In my
say
okay,
you
you're right. Let
so-
me say it like this. In my opinion, she doesn't value men, right? And neither does Jessica. But I think he does. So because of that, I'm going to pick the woman who I know value men because that's more important than her past. Because we might have a better future based on where she is at right now.
How do you got to that conclusion, by the
What
way?
about you, Damien?
Jessica, by your own account, she's defending her Instagram. That's more important than her relationship.
For the sake of
Key
being
has a
devil's advocate, it's not that Instagram's not that serious to me at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
At all.
That's not what we heard so far, but I got you.
Well,
You
yeah,
can have
I'm
it.
making
You
the
win.
argument.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah, you're not
It's-
gonna. I just.
You
Nobody's
win.
gonna control me. I've
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
said
I
this
just wanted to quick-
Absolutely. That's more
I'm
important
not
than the relationship.
attracted to being in a relationship where a man is gonna tell me what to do. It's
Absolutely.
gonna be a
That's-
50-50 and we're
that's
gonna
it.
have respect for each other.
Right. That's
Yeah,
it. So let me correct myself. So to answer your question, Fatty, Jessica is more concerned with not being controlled than she is with the relationship. That's that part. And Lexi put a dollar amount on the man. So I
I
know
mean,
it's not
all the
about him.
women on here put a dollar amount. So please don't just point fingers at me like I'm the only one who put a dollar amount.
I'm
Sorry,
not.
sis, I didn't. I'm like, sorry.
I'm not, but I didn't hear Key put a dollar amount at all.
But I'm not the only one who put a dollar amount. So
yeah, we had
Say
talked
that
about
you
it
were.
earlier.
I didn't say that you were.
You just
Okay, all right. I'll jump in and give my
That's fair.
things.
That's fair. Hey, I just wanted a quick temperature check. Damien, what's up?
Yeah. So it's a tough. Like I said, I'm all about second chances and growth. I'm all about that. People progressing into different phases of their life, what have you. But I would have to go with the second option. I would have to go with the woman who has the Instagram and is adamant about not it, only because I feel like if the growth came, there's the growth, it would be less blowback, or there'd be less remnants of their past in that. If she deleted the photos and what have you, it is what it is. But like I said, the internet's forever. And if there's pictures of my woman out there, like with no clothes on, naked or whatever like that, it would bother me. And then I got kids. I wouldn't be like, nigga, your stepmama just picked you up and here she go butt naked. I couldn't rock with that.
And she will be fat after the second kid anyway. So it's just like a 3-year span. Now it was a joke. It was a joke.
No, but I'm just saying, it's just like saying, hopefully it'd be like the situation. I would, I would say, hopefully we could work together, and she could grow out of that whole, I need my Instagram for whatever. Don't control me stuff or whatever, and just see the value of what we have together over her individual need for affirmation.
Oh, okay. What about you, Califessa and Will?
I'm choosing neither. And my whole thing is, listen to this. If the most important thing that is going to be the deciding factor of our relationship is Instagram, then we're not where we need to be to decide whether this is going to be a relationship or not. There are far more important things than Instagram to be discussed. And if that's the main,
Califessa, you don't have to take the high road.
Hold on. If that is the main thing that we're discussing, and it is either conducive or detriment to the relationship, then both of us are not ready for a relationship. That's where I stand.
Okay. I mean, anyone can take the highway out and say there's more important things. I think that's why
highways.
That's the reason it was a good question.
No, the thing is, and I try and have this conversation, especially on the masculine mind. We as men need to adhere to some level of values and principles in all the facets that we try and discuss and have conversation about. So
is it not having a value?
It's not a high road.
Is it not having a value to say that you would want a woman with integrity?
I want a woman.
Can I finish real quick?
Yeah.
I think the question I'm asking, because 2 of my 4 things for long-term relationships is class and integrity, right? And so that ties into if a woman, currently is defending X or a woman's past looks like this, but she's in a great direction.
Whoa,
Because
whoa,
again,
whoa,
I
whoa,
like a lot
whoa.
of the things that
You can't say
you
that
were
somebody
saying
doesn't have
earlier.
class or integrity, because either one, I don't think that's a fair assessment to make that somebody has class. I think
No, but
realistically,
it's not a yes/no thing, Damien. It's a spectrum. Class and integrity is a spectrum, you know, like, and some might say, again, it depends on your values. Maybe you're religious and you think that the OnlyFans thing has no class, or maybe you're just really, really, really picky and you think that a woman defending her ability to post bikini pics is classless. Again, but it's a spectrum. And there are some men that will say yes to and no to either of them. And I think that's why it's a good question, because we're split on it. I think it would have been a better question if I would have said, instead of Key having OnlyFans, it was just a much more promiscuous past. Like, she's dated, been with 5 guys, you know, and she's honest, like, hey, you know, I've been through the ringer, been with 50 plus guys, but I'm trying to settle down now, instead of the OnlyFans. Because the OnlyFans and the internet thing being forever is a lot, that would have been a deal breaker for me. But I do appreciate and respect the direction that she's turning, and that was really kind of refreshing to hear earlier in the podcast. That's why I asked. So.
But DA, if it was your daughter, right, would you have the mindset that your daughter disqualify herself from marriage because of that past? Or would you still think, yeah, somebody should marry my daughter?
Because of the OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Oh, let's say, okay, we're inserting me into having a daughter with the OnlyFans that she just ended. I think that's the catch-22 with men, is like, we would marry a woman of a certain type, but if our daughters screw up, now we're forced to be on the side of the woman we disagree with. So it's a that's a great question, because a lot of men are finding themselves in that position today because of culture having more of an effect on their kids than them after the age of like 6, 9. I mean, I would do my best to get her the best outcome possible. But if I saw a man, that was like me and like on an upward trajectory in life, I would try and pair myself with my daughter. Like, I would try and be as good of a possible mentor to that man, make sure he's as financially successful as possible, make sure he, you know, he's not just some guy that has some dream and he's selling women dreams and he doesn't have the intellect or ambition to deliver on those dreams. And once I decide that he's that man for my daughter, I would make sure that she's paired with me, and that's too good of a deal for him to pass up, you know, because she's going to have her flaws, because OnlyFans and that kind of sex work, like, I know it comes with trauma because you deal with men that are not good people. So, yeah, I'd be putting her through therapy and doing everything I could to make her the best candidate possible for being a good wife and mother.
Kimona, you want to say something? Go ahead.
I just feel like, I know you guys have like probably a perception of me and my OnlyFans and stuff like that, but the people who did buy my content, they're actually dope as fuck, and I know them in real life. You get what I'm saying? So my situation is different than anybody else's. So I'm just saying, don't speak for me and the men who bought my content.
No, it's even worse.
No,
it's even worse.
I'm not done. Let me
Apologize.
Okay, and I'm gonna say something. Y'all don't know me, and I'm gonna keep it 1,000 on here. I have very changed my life, and I'm not gonna sit up here. I know how females are when they sit up there and they change their life. They want to go towards God and use God as an example. I'm not about to do that. What I'm about to I'm keeping it 1,000. I am changing my life, and I am spiritual, and I know that God got me, and I know that my life will get better just moving forward, and I live in my truth, and I'm happy with it. The advice that I want from you men, though, is me being where I'm at now, and I do want to be a traditional wife one day. What advice that you could give me so I could learn to be a better woman? Because I don't want to be like women in this generation.
That's a great question.
Go to your Instagram and delete all the pictures of you in lingerie, the 7,000
You know
of them.
what, Fatty? Just because you said that, I will. What else?
Okay.
That's a good start.
Find good women that you can model after who have the results that you want. That is the best advice anyone can give you. Find those people and have conversation with them and get from them what the advice is and how they've lived their life. That's the best advice for you.
Yeah,
it's not maybe guaranteed that you're going to get the result you want, but it's going to optimize your opportunity to be there in some way or form. Sorry, Damien, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was interrupting you. My bad. You got to divest yourself from anything that's closely related to that former lifestyle. Like, I'm not going to say names, but I'm from Oakland. I got people who've been in any kinds of like sex work industry and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're in Seattle doing IT jobs, and it was years ago. But what they did was they left the Bay Area. They didn't stay in the environment, because when they did meet cats in the environment, it was too closely where they could bump into somebody, or somebody could relate to. Even the friends that they were hanging around was like, girl, I remember that one time we went to Mexico and you blah, blah, blah. You got to disassociate yourself with anything that can highlight or put shine a light on who you were in the past, if that's not who you are. I think a lot of people try to maintain those connections with people that were either facilitated or were cool with them being like that, and it always comes up. It always comes up in some form or fashion. So,
I do
ahead.
want your question. I don't even hang out with those people no more. And
Yeah,
the people that I do hang out with, they are married and they're in fucking successful ass relationships. So that's the people that I surround myself with.
Yeah. The advice is move across the country. The advice that he gave you kind of was move across the country.
And you know what? I'm thinking about it.
Because remember what you said, right? You said most of the people that I sold content know me personally. There's 1,000 million times worse, because now I'm afraid that I'm on a supermarket and the guy
and hold on and create and the thing is, you don't have to get rid of social media. Actually, and nowadays it would benefit you to create rebrand yourself on social media for who you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything related to social media, you don't have the same friends and the people who knew you in that life. Have new people who can respect who you are, or just family and stuff like that, and rebrand you as the person that you are now and the things that you are now. That has nothing to do with the way you are, because people are going to check.
Would you advise them to tell the future husband the truth about her past?
Yes, 100%.
Everything like the OnlyFans, my friends bought.
Y'all think my husband's not gonna watch this interview? Why would I not tell my husband?
No, Patty. It's a good thing that it's a good thing that she dismissed the possibility of even lying about it, because it would have been a bad thing if she was like, of course not, I'm not going to tell him about it, right?
I'm going to keep this 1,000. A lot of men who still talk to me, they know my past. Like, they still want to be with me. They still want to make me a wife. Like, I live in my truth. And a lot of females these days,
you got to be careful with that. Because a lot of that, there's a novelty factor of that. Anything, I know a lot of women who dudes have promised a lot of stuff in the former sex workers. They promise a lot of stuff because of the novelty.
I'm talking about actual real men that really want to be with
you. But they want to get inside of you.
But that's not true, because if they want
it's still the possibility.
Are you
like
listening
you said
to yourself right now?
It's just
you can't do that. Like that's crazy to say that out loud. Like just to be, if they wanted to, they could have.
If I'm a grown ass woman, if I want to fuck you, I'm gonna fuck you. If you
no, it's not about you. It's about them.
Grown. Like let's.
So wait a minute. Hold on, Fatty, please. You asked the question, right?
Yes.
The answer is don't do that.
Okay,
don't talk like that. So do I get to talk?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, sir.
Don't talk like that. Don't speak like that out loud. This is the whole point. You just heard Damien telling you about rebranding yourself. You sound like you haven't changed.
Okay.
Right?
Because
so that's the first thing is don't do that. Second thing, you don't deserve traditional. I'm not saying you won't get it. I'm saying get over thinking that you deserve it. This is one of the biggest problems with women in general. Right, is that no matter what their past look like, they still think they deserve the best.
Well,
right? They still think they deserve everything like everybody else deserves, right?
I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. You're not God, so I'm gonna get the best. I'm just being honest, because my God.
Okay, cool. I don't have to be God.
I'm telling you though.
It's not about being God. This is what I'm saying. It's not about it being God, right? There are. You're not traditional,
and neither are you.
Absolutely not. I hate tradition. So I'm not saying it to diss you. See what you saying? Neither are you. See that you haven't. You're still
hold on, Patty.
Bitter, angry. That's why you're launching out at me. I'm not dissing you.
But my thing is, if
the reason why I'm telling you,
come at me with facts and respect, but you're not coming at me with facts and respect. You just
yes or no? Are you traditional?
No, you said I don't deserve traditional.
Absolutely, you don't, because you're not traditional.
So what you should say is, I don't think that you deserve to.
Wait a minute,
Don't say
Keith. Do you not remember that I was the only nigga who said he would pick you?
that's fine if you don't want to.
Okay, so then you have to understand that I'm not coming at you. I'm not, but I'm talking to you like a man because I'm not a fucking woman.
I mean,
what I'm saying. So listen.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
You are not traditional. Let me ask you this: do you think a non-traditional man deserves a a traditional woman? Yes or no?
No.
So then, you are not traditional, and by your own statement, you understand that non-traditional people don't deserve traditional people, which means I'm not coming at you or disrespecting you.
There's a very
I'm
fair
saying
point.
something that you absolutely know and
Beans,
understand.
I'm going to interrupt you and piggyback off that. It makes sense because hold on, Fatty, you say what you're going to say because you made a good
or
point,
you could have
and
just
I
let
lost
me
my
land.
train of
You
thought.
could have just let me finish ever.
I'm ready to forget my point.
It tied in.
Wait, you already won. You proved the point. There's a good point.
There's been like 3 times in this conversation where like we're trying to say this something 5 different ways, and then I came in with that saying men
No, you know I
men
rock
are
with you, but I'm
salesmen,
just
women
frustrated
market.
because
That's
it's
all
like,
I wanted
damn,
to do was help you
where
out.
everybody else's mouth is moving, people know how to be quiet.
Yeah, but you did a
But for
good,
some
great
reason,
point.
when
You
my
won
mouth is
already.
open, everybody want to keep talking. I can't.
No, you won already. You already proved the point. She doesn't deserve traditional because she's not traditional. That's a great point.
It's just when it's just 2
right.
people
But
for
we were
5
at,
minutes.
but we
That's
were
when I want
still,
to
but we were still.
Guys,
I was gonna
we gotta conclude. Hey, Devil.
Sir, already did a touchdown, but you can continue.
Damn, so you gonna do it to me again, Will? Okay.
No, this 3-hour mark.
It's the time. It's the time.
I got you, bro.
3 hours in. Okay, Devil, finish, and then we gotta conclude. Go ahead, Devil.
Oh, Fatty, go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
We have to conclude, Devil. Go ahead.
Okay.
Finish real quick, and we gotta go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, it left me.
God.
It's gone.
Look at
They went
God
back
working
and
on
forth.
my behalf. I
I
don't even
got
gotta
about
do
like a
shit.
minute and a
Look
half.
at God working for me.
And they went on for a little too long. When Bean and Palafessa went back and forth for 8 minutes, the same thing happened. But you were asking what advice men would have for you. Oh, to rebrand yourself. So I'll just answer the question.
I didn't say brand myself. I said,
Or-
in order for me to sit up here and find me a good man,
Yeah.
I want to know what advice can you give me to get a good man. That's it. Period.
Okay.
It's simple as
I
that.
remember my
Fuck
answer.
my cat, fuck everything, fuck the judgment. What
Yep.
advice can you give me?
Straight up advice.
So my answer was if I were out on a date with a woman and I found out she used to have an OnlyFans, there are a couple things that I would want to know is like, how long did she do it?
Mhm.
And again, you're going to have to pitch this. So you don't want to sit, you'll know what aspects of this are your strengths and your weaknesses. So if you didn't do it for long, that's a plus. If you didn't do guy girl content on there, that's a plus. And if you did, and there wasn't much, you'd want to, because now you might have disqualified yourself, especially if you want a traditional man who has options. You're going to be kind of trying to re-qualify yourself. So you're going to want to really leverage the things that might make it less of a blow. Like, I didn't do it for long. I didn't do guy girl content, or I only did it with the guy I was dating at the time, or one guy. You're going to have to leverage those things. And you're going to have to lead with something that's going to impress a traditional man. So again, for me, I lean traditional, and that ties into class, integrity, loyalty, beauty. So, you can go, I'm not going to get into all 4 of those, but like class, your outward projection when you walk in a room, you can look at some people and say, wow, they have class. And then you see the people with, they're trying to show off their curves and they're loud. Like, that's just classless. Integrity is what you do when nobody's looking. Are you still operating in a way that your man, if he were watching right now, would respect you and still want you? Loyalty is obvious. And then beauty, doing everything you can to beat out those other women. Because at the end of the day, that might be the deal breaker. Your OnlyFans might put you at a disadvantage, but the other woman has bad health habits and you might win it back. Because beauty is huge for men, much more important than it is for women. So you can beat them out in the gym as well.
I just want to say something.
All right. Go ahead, Beans. Share real quick, Beans, because we gotta conclude. Go ahead,
it's real quick. It's real quick. Basically, I say the thing is, you got one thing working for you is that you're highly motivated to do it. It seems like there's a difference between being committed and convinced. Like, it seems like you are, from what I'm getting here, you're committed to having a different trajectory than you were ended up in a different place than you thought you were. So that's commendable. And I think if you keep that on and keep that commitment to it, you'll be successful. Because I don't much call. I think you are. If it wasn't for OnlyFans, it would have definitely been, hey, I rock with you, that kind of situation. But it's just one of those things where, I think you're going to end up with a great life because
y'all
the
gonna see me
commitment you have to make sure that.
I already know it. I'm for good things.
I hope the best for you too, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm already in school to be an ESPN anchor, so you guys are gonna see me on TV. I'm manifesting it.
There's another pipe
If you're going to
dream.
be a
They're not-
public figure, look into hiring a company to scrub the internet.
Yeah,
if you're going to be
they're
a
going to
public
do
facing
background
figure,
check. Come on, man. Like
No,
they're
trust
going to
me.
do background.
I can make it. Ain't nothing.
No, they are going to do a background check. They're going to see the pictures. They're going to say this is not appropriate.
That-
not if she hires a
on this
professional
internet,
company like the politicians
I'm
do.
on TV, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'll
All
invite
right,
you.
so
No.
okay, Kim, on it. Thanks to you for the great question. Let me just read the final super chats, and then we'll get the final thoughts from everybody because we've come to the end. And final super chats from To, $5. Thank you so much, To. If my daughter were to have OnlyFans, I would say yes. She disqualified herself from marriage. I might even disown her. And then To with the last super chat. Thank you so much. What is this spiritual thing all these women seem to believe in or follow? LOL. All right, no worries. All right, as always, whatever you agree, disagree, I always appreciate the super chats, donations to the channel. And we have come to the end of the show. Shout out to everybody on the live chat. Oof, that's not a good show for everybody. So thank you so much for everybody on the panel. Whatever you agree, disagree, I appreciate the open discussions and open opinions. And appreciate everybody on the live chat that watched the entire stream. Shout out to you guys. And of course, if you see value in the content, the best way you can support, don't forget to hit that smash a like button. And T.O. just put another super chat on the live chat. You have to be judged to offer you valid advice. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. But nevertheless, thank you so much for everybody. I appreciate you guys always for watching, supporting, and being part of the live show. I'll pass it to the guests. Final thoughts on tonight's discussion. And then, of course, if you want to share your socials or Instagram, so that way people can follow and support you. I'll start with the ladies. Thank you so much for being here for the first time on the podcast. I'll start with you, Jessica. Thank you so much for being part of the pod. What's your final thoughts to the discussions? And then how can people find you?
Yeah, no, I loved it. Thanks for the discussion, guys. Thanks for having me on. It was good. It was good to hear everybody's side of it. You men are definitely have strong opinions. It's been great. Obviously, you can follow me on Instagram, Jessica_Longoria with 2 A's. And I do have a YouTube channel. I vlog. Just went to Greece, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I appreciate everybody, and it was fun.
All right, thank you so much, Jessica. I'll keep it moving. Lexi, thank you so much for being part of tonight's podcast. All right, and final thoughts from tonight's discussion. How can people find you, Lexi?
Thanks for having me. I felt like it was some good discussions here. Some not so good, but to agree to disagree. And if you would like to follow me, you don't have to. It's gonna be just Lexi. Yeah.
All right, no worries, Lexi. Thank you so much for being part of the pod. Kiamone, final thoughts and how can people find you?
I don't want nobody to follow me because I don't like nobody, but appreciate y'all having me on the show. Like that, so.
All right. Thank you so much, Kiamone. Appreciate it. That's the fellas. Final thoughts and how can people find you guys? I'll start with you, Damien. Go ahead, Damien.
Yeah, it's great. It's always good. A good time being on the show, what have you. You can follow me at Can I Get Some Podcast. That's on IG, just like how it sounds. Can I Get Some Podcast? December 4th, I'll be relaunching my podcast. So it'll be back in effect. And you'll definitely see me on Will stuff all the time. It's always a good time when we come on. Oh, December 2nd, I'll be in studio with Will.
Yes, sir.
Doing a podcast live. So you can catch me there.
Yeah, Damien's going to be in the Bay on next week, Saturday. So I definitely got
again.
I pre-selected a good panel for you, Damien.
It's all good.
All right. Thank you so much, Damien. I'll pass it to you. Fatty, final thoughts, Fatty. How can people find you? And Fatty, always shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for always jumping on, man.
No, I appreciate you guys. And again, I try to be nice. I wasn't the one throwing the first shot, but no offense taken. Thank you, ladies, for being good sports. If you want results after you have a damaged past, you have to lie a lot. Like like those used car dealers that put the mileage back and they say it's brand new, 100,000, right? That's exactly what you have to do. No reality, no fluff, no, oh my God, God and the stars and Capricorn. No, lie. Go ahead, try to clean up your past, move across the state, move to the other country, lie, cheat, steal, get what you want and move on. Winners win, losers lose. There's no more conversation to be had about that. I appreciate you. You can follow me on my failed YouTube channel, Team Fatty. Team Fatty. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. And I hope to see Will stopping by here and there. Devil stopping by here and there. It will be great to see your illustrious gentleman. Sometimes come here and visit here and there. So I appreciate you folks. Thank you very much. And happy Thanksgiving, even though we don't have Indians. So appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
As always, Fatty, thank you so much for always being part of the pod. Beans, final thoughts, and how can people find you, Beans?
Yeah, I seen your little podcast. That's the name of my YouTube channel. Damien, I want to thank you for at least trying to be honest. I appreciate that.
It's all good, B. You my dog.
Paulo is up and it's stuck. DA, it's been good to rock with you. Lexi, you black, so I rock with you. Jessica, not so much. No, I'm just playing. I think you cool. And Key, I hope you like if you watch this back, or at least just watch back when you asked us that question. I think you should. I know you won't. But God ain't gonna do it for you. You gotta do it for yourself. That's why he gave us free will. And Will, I'm Beans, aka Lil Podcast. I'm somebody in this space. You gotta stop allowing people to overtalk me, brother. I'm somebody. Okay? I got over 2,000 subscribers, brother. Okay? I know it's channels with 2 million, but so what?
Beans, can I respond, Beans?
He said, can I respond?
I promise you, if you go watch back this podcast and look at how much time that you talked in the entire podcast, it'd be more than anybody on this panel.
Let's do that. Let's bet money on that.
I bet money on that.
I bet you. I'll bet you $100 you're wrong.
From when he joined. From when he joined.
Yeah, when he joined, when you jumped on. Yeah.
When you joined. The amount of time that you were given to speak, I promise.
I'd be interested.
I'm gonna put in on that bit too.
Y'all all want to do it? So you giving me verbal permission right now out loud to react to it?
I'm telling you,
I can react to the video on my channel.
I'm telling you, I'm a man of accountability. So go watch from the time you jumped and see how long you spoke.
So good. I just want this is what I want. I don't even want the money. You can have the money if I'm wrong. If I'm right, from here on out, when I talk, everybody got to go on mute.
All right, but go.
Whoa. We can't let Will punish us for his
Go check it first.
Absolutely.
Go check it first.
Because this is what I know is going to happen. I'm going to be quiet.
Now, I will say,
when y'all talking, my lips be like this. I be eating my popcorn. That's a fact. But no, it's all good. Well, you know I'm rocking with you. I'm pulling for you, man. I definitely want to and come on, man, you got to do some more fully Pacific Islander shows, man. Like you put me on to those women. The Pacific Island women are absolutely amazing. Oh my God, I gotta get my credit together. But yeah, man, you gotta do some more shows with the 8 girls on the panel and all that, man. I'm waiting on those, Will.
Okay. All right, Beans. Thank you so much for always jumping on the pod. Devil, final thoughts real quick.
Yeah, no, it was fun as usual. I learned a lot. I like learning about people and their experiences, especially when they're as unique as this panel's. I like the curveballs y'all threw at me, asking me if I had a daughter that I found out had an OnlyFans, how would I help her, get back on her feet? Honestly, it's questions like those that really make you think, because all other, they're the run of the mill questions, but then there are those curveballs that you get that make you think. So I really appreciate that. Key, I really liked how you kind of swallowed your pride and asked for advice, even though you didn't agree, even though you're in a group of people who you didn't agree 100% with on many things. It takes a lot, and I think that a lot of women in your position don't have the humility or insight to do that. So that was also something that I liked about this podcast. But yeah, well, again, thanks for getting a kick-ass group together. It was fun.
All right, thank you so much, Devil. And then last but not least, Palafesa, final thoughts.
Well, again, thank you for having me up here, allowing me to share my thoughts. To the ladies, I appreciate the conversation. It seems like we didn't have much, and more so with the fellas. Gentlemen, I think when we disagree, it's more or less just value systems that we adhere to rather than what we actually speak on. And Beans, you disappoint me tonight because I think you're a very intelligent man, and I think that disingenuous in trying to misinterpret what was trying to be put across is where I find that your character, you mischaracterize yourself, and that's my own perception. I'm not saying that's how it's been perceived all across the board. It's my own perception, and I'll stand on that. I think this podcast is more or less understand the entirety of the outcome you want, in the sense of what is required and what skill sets do you have to have, and are you qualified for it? You will be fine if you understand all of that in its entirety, and look at people that they currently have the outcome you want. I appreciate Damien because he's the type of man that I look up to, is someone who is trailing behind of 8 years of marriage. These are the type of men I would love to listen to and have conversation around, regardless of whether we see eye to eye on certain things or not. It's those conversations I seek, and especially in the men in my life that I try and model after. I'm not online. I don't live on the social media sort of spectrum that most people do. So don't even bother trying to find me. I'm mostly on here or Fatty's podcast. But other than that, I appreciate anyone who's shared conversation, whether it was back and forth or in alliance in the things that we've said. And again, well, the opportunity is always appreciated.
All right, thank you so much. As always, appreciate everybody in the live chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you get notified when we go live next Wednesday. Wednesday, we always have a hot topic to discuss. All right, I'll see you guys next time. And of course, everybody in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving. Peace. Peace, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
Happy Thanksgiving.